This chat group administrator really takes things seriously. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 101. Next target. The hotel was brightly lit. Jiang Nan was sleeping soundly on the soft bed, although he didn't need to sleep. Lu Mingfei sat on the bed and stroked the 7 deadly sins in his hand. He planned to refine it a little first and store the 7 deadly sins into his sea of consciousness. Jiudmei was exhausted after a day. After taking a shower, she lay on the soft bed and recalled the thrilling day. Liao Tang and Constantine lived in the same room. The brothers hadn't seen each other for 1,000 years. The night is always deep. Rest when it's time to rest. The second day, the sun was shining and the weather was clear. It was a good day to do something. The only friend of Lu Mingfei now was Liao Tang. Those who appeared in the future were not known at all now. How could they be considered friends if they didn't know each other? Liao Tang and Lu Mingfei thought that the most fun thing was probably playing StarCraft in the internet cafe. After solving the problem, Lu Mingfei relaxed. Then several people started playing games all night in the internet cafe. After playing games, they go to the street stalls to eat spicy hot pot, kebabs, or knife-cut noodles. The one who pays is their exclusive nanny Jiudmei. In daily life, Lu Mingfei, Jiang Nan, and Liao Tang are just like ordinary game otakus, social losers, eating, drinking, defecating, sleeping, and playing games every day. And they ask her to pay. Although the money is not much, but it always gives Jiudmei an indescribable sense of deja vu. The dignified Dragon King is eating spicy hot pot and playing online games, and he is the one being abused. Jiudmei sometimes doubts whether this is still the world she knows, and about the boss asking her to investigate Jiang Nan. As a result, the results of the investigation can't even be said. Jiang Nan put down his bowl and stretched. Liao Tang, Mingfei, we have rested for so long, let's do something else. Lu Mingfei also put down his bowl and chopsticks. Well, group leader, I should have nothing to do here. Jiang Nan smiled mysteriously. Anyway, you will definitely meet the king of the earth and the mountain in the future. Why don't we go over now and secretly kidnap Fenrir, the king of the earth and the mountain, who represents power? That child's IQ is comparable to that of a 3-year-old child. I believe that with our adult's IQ, we can definitely crush him. By then, you will be the new generation of Dragon Knights. Think about the previous generation of Dragon Knight Yan Ziping. Lu Mingfei was speechless. This Dragon Knight is different from the Dragon Knight. However, Lu Mingfei will definitely meet the king of the earth and the mountain in the future. Jumunganda and Fenrir. One represents power. The other represents power. Only when power and power are combined can one become a true Dragon King. Hela, the god of death. Jumunganda, who represents wisdom, has absolute control over power. Just like a precision instrument. Once Fenrir performs the Shiva Karma dance, it can cause a large earthquake that destroys a city, and in the area covered by the word spirit, all living things will die the moment the word spirit is completed. This is the death area of the king of the earth and the mountain. After waking up, Jumunganda transformed into an ordinary cute girl Xiaomi, secretly observing human behavior, and the focus of observation was Chuzeheng, the gossipy senior brother that Lu Mingfei was willing to go against the world to find in the future. Of course, another reason was that Chuzeheng carried the mark of Odin. For this reason, Jumunganda also played various roles around him. A senior sister of the cheerleading team, a senior sister of the student union, a junior who asked questions. But Chuzeheng was a shy and straight man. In the end, nothing happened during the date at the 3 holy places. Jumunganda sealed Chuzeheng's memory of himself in his mind when he left. When they met again, Jumunganda had a new identity, Xiaomi, a freshman at Castle School. But in the end, Chuzeheng saw through her identity and stabbed her heart with a Cambridge folding knife. Jumunganda, die. Fenrir was furious and performed Shiva Karma dance. Lu Mingfei paid 1/4 of his life to kill him. Fenrir, die. The king of earth and mountain has fallen. Lu Mingfei recalled the future and spoke. I remember that Jumunganda sneaked into Castle Academy for Constantine. After all, Jumunganda did not want to devour his brother. The twins on the throne have very deep feelings. If there is no choice, they will not devour each other. Or 1,000 years is too lonely after all. The lifespan of the Dragon King is too long. In this long life, only blood relatives can give him warmth. Jumunganda may have noticed the death of the Bronze and Fire Kings, so he made a choice. But Jumunganda was ultimately unable to outsmart Lumings. He still fell. Jiangnan spoke lightly. Your brother will definitely make trouble, so why don't we do it in advance and leave your brother nothing to do? Jumunganda is very beautiful and has very white skin. It must be very suitable for cupping. Such a cute girl should cry for a long time after being punched. Mingfei. Old Tang seemed to think of some bad memories and could only mourn for Jumunganda in his heart for half a minute. Mingfei thought for a moment and said, "Can I refuse?" Jiangnan showed a hearty smile. "What do you think? The gears of fate have begun to turn. The Iron Throne has appeared. No one can escape. Unless you have absolutely strong strength." Jumunganda has a very terrifying wisdom. She naturally noticed this, so she decided to devour her brother, so that power and strength can be completely integrated and become a true Dragon King. Let the death god Hela be born to deal with the coming storm. But 1,000 years have given rise to too many feelings. In order to find a replacement, Jumunganda risked being killed to sneak into Castle Academy and steal Constantine's body. But in the end, he was repelled by Jiudmei, Lumings' subordinate, under the condition of cheating. At this time, Jumunganda had no choice. Jiudmei had a bad premonition. Jiangnan had a sly smile on his face and wanted to make trouble. Mingfei shook his head helplessly. Old Tang was recalling Jumunganda and Fenrir. They hadn't seen each other for a long time. Jiudmei finally couldn't help it and spoke. "What are we going to do next?" Jiangnan said leisurely with a curl of his lips. "Next, we will go to the lair of the King of Earth and Mountain and kidnap Fenrir, who represents power. Have you heard of human traffickers? We are dragon traffickers." Jiudmei thought she had heard wrongly. "You want to kidnap the King of Earth and Mountain? I know you are very strong, but that is the Dragon King. Who are you going to sell him to after you kidnap the Dragon King? Who dares to accept him? Castle School or those half-blood families?" "Calm down." Jiangnan pressed his hand to show that it was nothing. "I have already thought of the channel to get rid of the Dragon King, but at the same time I want a ransom. What do you think we should do?" Mingfei was instantly shocked. "Are you going to rob the robbers and take money from both ends?" Chapter 102. Flame Dragon Armor. Jiangnan seemed to think of an interesting scene, and the corners of his mouth cracked. It must be fun. Jiudmei felt that her life was dark. It's only been quiet for a few days, and she has to do dangerous things again. Old Tang has Norton's memory, so he knows the King of the Earth and the Mountain. After all, they belong to the 4 elemental Dragon Kings. Jumunganda is very smart. Although Fenrir is immature and simple, the power he possesses can easily change the world. This is the power of the earth. And I remember that Fenrir has always been in a completely dragonized state. This is not the half-man and half-dragon state of Constantine and I before. A completely dragonized Dragon King is very dangerous. Jiangnan patted Old Tang on the shoulder. "It doesn't matter. It's better to say that this is better. After all, Mingfei is a man who wants to be a dragon knight. If this dragon is too small to ride, it will be embarrassing." Mingfei, riding the Dragon King, holding the dragon slaying artifact 7 deadly sins. Just thinking about the picture is domineering. But in fact, this dragon is just a child whose mind has not yet fully grown. Riding on a child to show off. This scene is so beautiful. Mingfei said. "Actually, I don't have to be a dragon knight. I don't need to care too much about spiritual beast mounts." Jiangnan shook his head. "A cultivator doesn't even have mount. I'm not afraid of being laughed at. Besides, how can I not do such a fun thing as fooling a 3-year-old child?" Mingfei sighed helplessly. Strength is a person's greatest guarantee. It is also the courage to do things. The night is getting late. In the town, by the river, in front of the fence, a pair of brothers, looking up at the sky, enjoy this moment of tranquility. Old Tang and Constantine, who have become ordinary people, cherish this simple life. When they were Dragon Kings, they were always forced to move forward by fate. Constant fighting, constant battles. Thousands of years have long been boring. But the Iron Throne has appeared. The Black King is destined to return. By then. Now I'm just an ordinary person with the memory of a Dragon King. I hope that day will not come too early. It's not that the Dragon King will not die. As long as it doesn't hatch, it will really die after being killed. Old Tang's worry is not unnecessary. Jiang Nan appeared at some point and hugged Old Tang. Hey, Old Tang, what are you thinking about with such a sad face? Old Tang raised his head slightly and looked at Jiang Nan with a smile. Jiang Nan was too ordinary. Too confusing. I'm thinking about my future. I want to take my brother to a safe place. There is an old saying in China that the world is so big that there is no place for me to stay. Jiang Nan nodded very seriously. Really not. As long as you are the king of bronze and fire for one day, you will be the king of bronze and fire for the rest of your life. Don't underestimate the greed of humans. How do you think the hybrids came from? You should know that dark history better than me. In order to seize the power of the Dragon Clan, humans can do anything, not to mention you who have lost your power now. Old Tang fell into silence. Constantine hid behind Old Tang in fear. The king of bronze and fire who lost his power is still the king of bronze and fire. If they were caught, Old Tang and Constantine would probably die at the hands of those perverted scientists instead of the Black King. They would be sliced and dissected like mice. But what can I do now? Old Tang's eyes were a little dim. Even if he was not sealed, his power could not stop the wheel of fate. He turned his head and looked at his lovely brother with that innocent look, not knowing how cruel the future would be. Jiang Nan patted Old Tang on the shoulder. Don't worry, you are my little brother, but I'm protecting you. As a big brother, how can I see my little brother being arranged so clearly? Come, I will give you something. Jiang Nan took out 2 watches from behind him. The color of the watch is red, and a red dragon with burning flames is wrapped around the watch, and the huge dragon claws are tightly grasping the surface of the watch. It looks full of metallic texture, and it even makes people feel that this fire dragon is alive. What is this? The Flame Dragon Armor Summoner, the key I made, is the key to open the seal in your body, and it can also convert the power and strength in your body into the power of the Flame Dragon Armor. The more power you provide, the stronger the Flame Dragon Armor will be, and the more seals will be opened. Jiang Nan said very proudly, and the Flame Dragon Armor he made also has a most powerful function, which solved Old Tang's troubles for thousands of years. In fact, what Jiang Nan wanted to see more was a serious dragon slaying scene. Dragon King Norton roared and shouted loudly. A mere ant dares to touch the dignity of the king, looking for death. Just as everyone was ready, Dragon King Norton took out the Flame Dragon Armor Transformer. Then he crossed his hands on his forehead, quickly performed the transformation action, and shouted loudly. Transformation, Flame Dragon Armor Fusion, Flame Dragonite appears. That scene must be very interesting. Old Tang took the watch and put it on his right hand as Jiang Nan said. In an instant, the key was inserted into the keyhole. The seal began to resonate. Golden pupils appeared in Old Tang's eyes. The domineering Dragon King Norton is coming back. Life is complex. So is personality, humanity, divinity, animality, demonic nature. Old Tang is Norton, and Norton is Old Tang. Everyone has a devil in their heart. However, in front of Jiang Nan, everything is scum. Old Tang quickly suppressed the rage in his body. Sorry, I suddenly got angry just now. Jiang Nan waved his hand nonchalantly. Come and try it. I'll teach you how to transform. First this, then that. After various demonstrations and explanations, Old Tang was silent for a moment, then spoke. Does it have to be like this? Jiang Nan nodded seriously. Shameful actions, serious expressions, and shouting the words Flame Dragon Armor combination. The sound must exceed 100 decibels. The state stipulates that sounds exceeding 50 decibels at night are considered noise. Only in this way can the transformation be completed. It is worth mentioning that the transformation period is invincible. Jiang Nan also moved this setting over. And I've prepared a mysterious gift. I guarantee you'll be happy. Jiang Nan suddenly smiled mysteriously. Old Tang had no choice but to suppress his shame, cross his hands, and exert force suddenly, then quickly perform transformation movements. Flame Dragon Armor combine. The huge voice was like the roar of a dragon king. The seal is lifted, and the armor combines. A fiery electronic synthesis sound came from the flame dragon watch. Then the flame light and shadow emerged and surrounded Old Tang. The red armor appeared in the flames. Chapter 103, King. The flames were burning. The red armor stood in the flames, shining with metallic light. Then the flames spread and disappeared. The flame dragon armor showed its true appearance. It is an armor with red as the main color and dragon as the totem, and it is the first of the 5-element armor. Under the power of bronze and the king of fire, the whole set of armor appeared with flame patterns, and there were red lines that kept flashing like magma cracks. The entire flame dragon armor was 2 meters tall and extremely domineering. There were red goggles in the position of the eyes, and heat came from the armor when it moved slightly. Synchronization rate 10%. Old Tang in the armor had an electronic synthesized voice. That is to say, the flame dragon armor in this state only used 10% of the power of the Dragon King, but this 10% was enough to make him comparable to the next generation of dragons. Jiang Nan, how is it? How does it feel to transform for the first time? Old Tang's voice came from the flame dragon armor. It's a wonderful feeling. I feel like this armor is a part of my body, like an extended arm, that can be freely controlled. But why is the synchronization rate only 10%? Jiang Nan explained calmly. The synchronization rate of the flame dragon armor is the power that you can fully control at this time. Have you seen Eva? The higher the synchronization rate, the more you can control this power. Moreover, the existence of the flame dragon armor also eliminates the disadvantage that the Dragon King needs to be completely transformed into a dragon to fully use his full power. Old Tang moved his wrists, and with his legs, he jumped 3 meters high. He landed and waved his fists, making bursts of sonic booms. Then how to increase the synchronization rate? Jiang Nan spread his hands and said, this requires you to control the flame dragon armor yourself. Now you can reach a synchronization rate of 10% for the first time, which is already good. The higher the synchronization rate, the greater the seal will be opened. People have different physiques. The same is true for dragons. Just like the Dragon King needs to be completely transformed into a dragon to exert his power. In addition to being a key, the flame dragon armor summoner is also an energy conversion instrument. When the synchronization rate reaches 30%, it is probably the Dragon King in the state of half dragon and half human. When the synchronization rate reaches 80%, it is the Dragon King who has completely transformed into a giant dragon. When the synchronization rate reaches 100%, it squeezes all the power in the body, including potential, and burns all the power that can be burned. In this state, it is like a human being who has broken through his own limit and the hormones and his glands are surging. After that, he will inevitably be exhausted, and there will be no more energy, and he may even die of exhaustion. When the synchronization rate reaches more than 80%, you can unlock the special card that Jiang Nan left in the Flame Dragon Summoner. Flame Dragon Armor Upgrade Card. This is a special card. When the two Dragon Kings use the Flame Dragon Armor Upgrade card at the same time, power and strength will merge. The true King of Bronze and Fire will be born. The younger brother who can't use power, the older brother who can use power but lacks power. The two dragons merge into one. Just like their fate, the Dragon Kings are destined to devour each other and become the existence that makes up for each other. Constantine curiously put the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner on his right hand. In an instant, the burning feeling in his body returned. Then, under Jiang Nan's urging, Constantine also completed the transformation. The cute child performed the shameful transformation seriously and shouted loudly. Flame Dragon Armor Fusion. It was really interesting. Two almost identical Flame Dragon armor stood in front of Jiang Nan. Constantine's transformed Flame Dragon Warrior was closer to the Flame Dragon Warrior in the special drama, with red armor, blue goggles, and a metallic texture. The two Flame Dragon Warriors were easy to distinguish. The Flame Dragon Warrior transformed by Old Tang was covered with magma-like cracks all over his body. The reason for this change was that Old Tang was better at controlling the power in his body. Constantine's heart was too weak, so the original posture of the Flame Dragon Warrior appeared. Jiang Nan looked at his work with satisfaction. Not bad, not bad. Next I will completely open your seal. and at the same time I will overload the Flame Dragon Armor Summoner and force the synchronization rate to reach 80%. Although you may enter a state where there is not a drop left afterwards, I think you will be happier if I'll let you experience the power of the king in advance. Old Tang was slightly stunned. The true power of a king can only emerge when the twins on the dragon throne devour each other. However, feelings are the biggest obstacle to completing this process. Loneliness can drive people crazy. You mean, Constantine and I don't have to devour each other? Old Tang spoke with shock and disbelief. This is the long cherished wish of 1,000 years. Jiangnan nodded and explained. In your Kyankan belt, there is a special card called the Flame Dragon Armor Upgrade card. When the synchronization rate of the two of you reaches 80%, this special card will be unlocked. When the two of you use this card at the same time, you will merge, and the power and strength will be integrated into the complete king's authority. I've said so much, so why not let you try it? Although Constantine didn't understand much, he understood it. It seemed that he didn't have to be devoured by his brother anymore. And his brother didn't have to be sad anymore. And he didn't have to worry about this problem that had troubled them for thousands of years. Then Jiangnan snapped his fingers lightly. In an instant, the seal was opened. The flame dragon armor of the two began to quickly convert energy and entered an overloaded state. A fiery red light emanated from the armor, forming a giant red dragon. The dragon surrounded the two people like a python entangled its prey. The two people heard the unique electronic synthesis sound of the flame dragon armor. The synchronization rate has reached 80%, unlocking the flame dragon armor upgrade card. The next moment, a card was ejected from the belts on the sides of the two people. Old Tang and Constantine caught the card at the same time. Then, Xiaoming's extremely arrogant card insertion transformation method flashed before their eyes. Jiangnan designed a complete set of actions for the flame dragon armor. Each different card has a different action, ensuring that every card insertion transformation is so cool that it is simply beyond description. Without hesitation, the two arrogantly inserted the card into the belt without even looking at it. Flame Dragon Armor Upgrade. The figures of the two people turned into light projections and merged quickly. The Eastern Dragon shrank its body and plunged into the newly appeared armor. Then the flame exploded. The new armor walked out of the flames. Flame Dragon Armor Upgrade. Fiery Sun Flame Dragon. The domineering Flame Dragon warrior, with a golden dragon coiled all over his body. His hands, feet and vital parts are wrapped in golden armor. Gold and red are intertwined, so harmonious, so terrifying. Flame Dragon wings spread out behind the fiery Sun Flame Dragon. With a light wave, the heat wave spreads far away. Chapter 104, Little Devil. Mingfei and Jiudmei were lying in front of the window board, looking at the night view. At this moment, the blazing flames and the terrifying pressure of the king appeared. This is the Dragon King who has completely integrated power and strength. The pressure he exuded made Jiudmei breathless, even if it was hundreds of meters away. She felt that her heart was firmly grasped by a giant hand. Just a little force would explode her heart. This dangerous job is really not going to last a day. Jiudmei said that this job is too difficult. Mingfei didn't feel anything, but in the perception of his spiritual consciousness, there was a terrifying energy coming from the front, and there was a very powerful vitality spreading rapidly around. Some kind of terrifying life was born. The blazing flames illuminated the night. Passers-by around looked over there curiously, and some even wanted to see the source. But the red flame was like a mirage, and ordinary people couldn't find it, no matter how hard they looked. At this moment, the surrounding scene changed, and a cute kid in a suit appeared beside Mingfei, with a sad look in his eyes. It seems that they have made their choice. But brother, what we have lost will be taken back by us again. Mingfei just nodded lightly, without much reaction, because he didn't think that Liu Tang and Constantine would die. It should be that the group leader used some method to merge their power and strength. Brother, you have really changed a lot. Lumings took 2 steps forward, replaced Jiudmei's position before, and then looked at the flames in the distance. I thought that they were the only ones who would not take this step until they died. Mingfei was very speechless. Can you please stop pulling me into your dream for no reason? Besides, you are not omnipotent. Lumings was slightly stunned. Mingfei's reaction exceeded his expectations. It was as if there was a major mistake in the script of fate. However, what made Lumings even more angry was that his brother denied him. "Brother, you seem to have a lot of secrets." The little devil was very angry, but he would not be angry with his brother. Mingfei yawned in boredom. Okay, it's enough for you to know. Anyway, I won't follow the fate you arranged for me. I want to control my own destiny." Lumings was stunned for a moment, as if he heard something very funny, and a wonderful smile appeared on his cute and delicate face. "No, brother, no matter what the future path becomes, you will eventually ascend to the Iron Throne. Maybe this road has become twisted, but ruling the world will definitely be the end of destiny." Mingfei suddenly felt that Lumings seemed to have a serious illness, and a very serious one. Chunni Biao. How similar. He set himself as the king of the world who was pulled down from the throne. When he wakes up again, ruling the world will punish all the traitors and take away everything he has lost. I have no interest in ruling the world. I just take care of my little piece of land. Just don't mess with me. Even though Mingfei embarked on the road of cultivating immortals, his personality has not changed much. Bad boy. A child who never grows up. Lumings sighed helplessly. "Brother, you don't have to be so wary of me. I'm your brother, and will always be with you. I'm the only one in this world who treats you best. Even if the whole world betrays you, I will not betray you. In the future, I will take back everything we have lost." Mingfei remembered the handsome words of Xiao Yan for a better tomorrow. "I must take back what I have lost." Unfortunately, the one who said this now is a cute little boy Lumings. "Before I leave, brother, 1/4 of my life will allow me to do one thing for you, even if it is to kill the king over there, or the king of the earth and mountains you are about to meet." Mingfei was slightly stunned, but he had woken up from the dream. Lumings' position became Jiudmei. Jiudmei looked at Mingfei staring at him, and asked in confusion, "Is there something on my face?" Feeling the power of the king. Even at this time, the powerful fire-type word spirit can be activated without reading the bar, and can be directly cast instantly. Word spirit Zuling, word spirit Rhine. This greatly reduces the risk of being interrupted. The power of the king. Dominate the world. Old Tang even felt that he had everything with this power, just like he thought that catching the cicada meant he had the whole summer. This invincible king state lasted less than 5 seconds before it ended. The fiery sun dragon flashed. The flames disappeared, and the armor turned into light and shadow and dissipated. Old Tang and Constantine separated instantly. Then he lay on the ground and couldn't get up again. This feeling was like he had been through 7 days and 7 nights without any strength in his body. 5 seconds. Are you the brothers of the barbarian king? 5 seconds of real men. Jiang Nan said with a smile. Old Tang stood up with difficulty, but his face was full of excitement. The long cherished wish of 1,000 years was finally fulfilled. With this armor summoner, he didn't have to devour Constantine anymore. Although it was only 5 seconds, the feeling was too magical. You have me, and I have you. Just like the fusion skills in Dragon Ball, even the thoughts are merged together. But it was Old Tang who dominated everything. Constantine gave up all control of his body as soon as he merged. The younger brother always trusts the older brother. The older brother protects the younger brother. As the fusion was released, the flames also disappeared. The town fell into darkness again. After failing to find the source, passers-by around only regarded this as a special natural phenomenon. Jiang Nan, thank you so much. From now on, if you tell me to go east, I will never go west. If you tell me to go south, I will never go north. The Black King woke up, and a new storm had appeared. These traitors will definitely be on the Black King's kill list. At this time, you need to hold on to your thighs. Even if he has lived for thousands of years, the Dragon King still doesn't want to die. Who doesn't want to have a happy life? Jiang Nan nodded, and obviously liked to be flattered by others. Don't worry, little brother, you are protected by me. Who dares to touch you is an enemy of your brother Nan. Just wait and see if I will cut him off. Old Tang smiled happily, but his face was too pale now. Those shaking legs and shaking hands really didn't have a drop left. It was impossible to walk. Jiang Nan could only carry one in each hand, and carried the two back to the hotel. After returning to the hotel, Mingfei and Jiudmei had been waiting for a long time. Seeing the two bronze and fire kings who were pale but not injured, Lu Mingfei was relieved. What happened just now? Lu Mingfei asked calmly. Jiang Nan said casually, it was just to let them experience what it feels like to be a real man for 5 seconds. But isn't 5 seconds too short? Chapter 105. Traveling and tying a dragon. Beijing. The capital of China. A prosperous place. Probably the impression it gives people is the extremely expensive housing prices in addition to its prosperity. Every young man who enters society has a dream of drifting to Beijing. But reality often slaps you in the face. After wandering for half a lifetime, you can't even afford a toilet in Beijing. At the same time, as the imperial capital of the country, Beijing is a prosperous city with many famous tourist attractions. The Forbidden City, the Imperial City, the White Pagoda, the Buddhist Sounds, the famous food, the old Beijing Hutongs, the Summer Palace, the Confucius Temple, the Ming Tombs, the Great Wall. Beijing was the residence of ancient emperors. It is still the same now. The national flag is raised at Tiananmen Square every day. In general, if you come to China to play, but don't come to the capital, what's the difference between coming and not coming? The tourist bus keeps circling in the prosperous city. The beautiful scenery along the way and the lively city. This makes people who have rarely been to the capital very happy. Jiang Nan looked at the lively scene, and the busy office worker said, I really miss it. This is a very luxurious tourist sightseeing bus. This car can accommodate dozens of people, and has various convenient functions, but there are only a few people on the bus at this time. These people are Jiang Nan and his group who are going to poke the Dragon King's lair, Nibelungen. But at this time, they are more like tourists, and Jiang Nan is holding a small red flag in his hand. The imperial capital of the Dragon Clan world is still so prosperous even in this era. Let's go to the food street, to eat a street first, and then the Great Wall, the Summer Palace, the Imperial Palace. I don't know if I can sit on the dragon chair to experience the feeling of being an emperor. Jiang Nan's eyes were shining, like some travel fanatics who wanted to visit all the famous attractions in a city and then check in. Chiudmei looked at Jiang Nan's relaxed look and asked, Boss, aren't we here to find the Dragon King? Jiang Nan nodded without hesitation. Chiudmei asked again, then why do I feel like we are here for a trip? Jiang Nan said calmly, is there any conflict? Is there any problem with kidnapping a Dragon King while traveling? Chiudmei said that it was a big problem. How could this casual feeling feel like kidnapping a cat or dog? That is a Dragon King. And they kidnapped him in his territory, Nibelungen. Lu Mingfei knew the power of the group leader, so he said casually, relax, if something goes wrong, you can just run away. After all, you are a little weak. Chiudmei's mouth twitched. Although this is a truth, don't say it so simply. Jiang Nan and his group, Lu Mingfei, the immortal cultivator, Old Tang and the Dragon King Constantine. Jiang Nan, the immortal. Chiudmei, a tiny hybrid. There is no doubt that Chiudmei is the weakest one. Damn it. I know you are powerful, but that's Nibelungen. I can't run away at all, and there is the Dragon King's large-scale words. How can I escape? Chiudmei felt that she was really tired. This Nana's job can't last today. Chiudmei got this sightseeing bus, and by the way, she also got a set of professional tourist facilities collected by the previous owner of the sightseeing bus. Although this requires a lot of money and connections, that's it. It must be said that Suengxi, one of Lu Mingfei's 3 nannies, is a genius. She can be called a queen in the business and computer fields, and her connections are even more rough. The money spent by everyone is her money, and it can be said that everyone is supported by her. With such a strong logistical support, everyone can have fun. Even the potato chip girl invited a strong travel team to make a perfect travel plan for everyone. Accommodation in a hotel, a feast, a snack street, the most beautiful scenery, the most beautiful attractions. Jiang Nan is a little envious of Lu Mingfei. It's really nice to have a brother who is a big brother control. Nibelungen, where the king of the earth and the mountain lives, does not exist in the real world. It is a world constructed by the alchemical field. The rules there are made by the Dragon King. Each Nibelungen has different rules. Nibelungen is also called the kingdom of the dead, because the result of humans entering Nibelungen is often death. The entrance to the Nibelungen maze is at the Beijing subway station. No one can enter Nibelungen without the key and the owner's consent. And Nibelungen has a gatekeeper. But now is not the time to think about such things. Now is the time to travel and play. Abandon worries and have fun. The Great Wall, the Forbidden City, the Snack Street, the old Beijing delicacies, everyone is immersed in it. Today is a very happy day. Xiaomei followed behind everyone. She felt like she was taking care of children. And they are all very strong children. Inside the luxurious Regent Hotel, Xiaomei looked at a huge map of Beijing in the room. After a few days of exploration and analysis, we can confirm that the King of the Earth and the Mountain, Nibelungen, is on this subway line. Various earthquake data were displayed on the computer next to him. Inexplicable vibrations often occur on this line of Beijing subway station. This is coming from Nibelungen, which also indicates that it is the entrance to the maze. I guess they have had enough fun these days. The next step is the real crisis. The last time Xiaomei entered the Bronze City, she was really scared. It was too dangerous there, especially when facing the Dragon King. The bloodline of the mixed blood dragon race is naturally inferior to that of the pure-blooded dragon race. Not to mention the Dragon King of the pure-blooded dragon race. These days, Mingfei and Xiao Yan also talked about the King of the Earth and the Mountain, and told Xiaomei without hesitation. Because of the employee code of conduct, Xiaomei could not reveal this information at all. Therefore, she knew a lot of secrets. This time entering Nibelungen is very dangerous. Because the King of the Earth and the Mountain, Fenrir, is in a completely dragonized state. A slight movement can cause an earthquake, and a glare can crush a lot of impure hybrids. If he gets angry and starts to do the Shiva Karma dance, the whole of Beijing will go up to the sky, and the death field will cover all life in the field. The power of the complete Dragon King is so terrifying that it can destroy the world and move mountains and fill the sea. This time, Xiaomei has to be more prepared. As a high-level hybrid, Xiaomei is also proud of herself. She will never entrust her life to others. It is better to control your own destiny. A black box with exquisite packaging lay quietly on the table. Xiaomei took out her pistol and opened the box. There was a bullet in the box. The bullet head was made of crystal, and there was a red substance flowing inside. This is a weapon that can kill the Dragon King. The Philosopher's Stone. Chapter 106. Rainy days are best for kidnapping. Xiaomei played with the bullet. This was given by her boss, the former boss. The current black-hearted boss only knew how to spend her money and squeeze her hard 007, working 24 hours a day, always on call. If she hadn't been unable to beat the current boss, Xiaomei would have rebelled long ago. She pressed the bullet into the magazine. This was the first and last bullet. Then one bullet after another was pressed into the magazine, but these bullets were ordinary bullets. Click. The magazine was loaded, and Xiaomei nodded with satisfaction after feeling the quality of the pistol in her hand. As a powerful hybrid who had undergone professional ninja training, she could judge the bullet in the gun in her hand by weight. This allowed her to exert all the power of this bullet. If possible, she didn't want to use this bullet. It was a rainy day. Thunder roared, and the rain was heavy. Pedestrians hurried on the road, and vehicles drove quickly over the puddles on the road. The atmosphere was a bit depressing. Regent Hotel. Xiao Yan was bored and lying in front of the window, looking at the scenery of the city. We can't play if it rains. But with the logistics support team here, we can continue to have fun, and have fun after the rain stops. Why don't we just let the sky clear up now? Xiao Yan raised his hand and pointed his finger at the sky, but then he put it down again. There was the sound of dripping rain all around. Xiao Yan did not dispel the dark clouds. Rainy days are actually quite good. Like the Kamen Rider in the movie Tomo, the battle in the rain is often the most atmospheric, and Ultraman Under the Sunset, or the Battle of Knights in the Rain, the sword play is so cool. Xiao Yan suddenly had an idea. Entering Nibelungen on a rainy day, the atmosphere of the wind and rain must be just right. Come here for a trip, and tie a dragon back, when you think of it. It's so casual, so simple. On a whim, danger comes. You have to do it when you think of it, and you can't miss the atmosphere of this rainy day. Xiao Yan jumped off the chair and ran directly to Mingfei's room. Mingfei was playing a game at this time. At the most critical moment, he was lifted up by Xiao Yan. Mingfei was confused. What happened? The Dragon King is attacking the world. Jiangnan had a cheerful smile on his face. Let's go to the subway maze. Mingfei naturally knew what the subway maze referred to. It was Nibelungen, the king of the earth and the mountain. Now, Mingfei looked puzzled. Jiangnan nodded seriously. That's right. Mingfei turned his head and glanced at his computer screen. Although he was about to fight the Dragon King, he was not panicked at all. Can I finish the game first? Jiangnan glanced at the computer screen. Okay, I'll go call others first. Jiangnan put Mingfei down and rushed to Jiudmei's room next door. The sudden change made Jiudmei unable to react. It should have stayed in the hotel honestly in the rain, and the logistics support team would serve him well. But Jiangnan chose to make trouble at this time. Let's go. The atmosphere on rainy days is very good. Anyway, we can't go out to play on rainy days. Let's take advantage of the time difference and tie up the Dragon King. Jiangnan shouted loudly. Jiudmei wanted to object because many of her equipment had not arrived yet, such as the ancient dragon blood, alchemical swords. Objection is invalid. Jiangnan spoke first. Jiudmei could only put down her hand quietly and cursed the black-hearted boss in her heart. Mingfei expressed his unconditional support for Jiangnan. The group leader is domineering, the group leader is mighty, and the group leader is always the best. Liao Tang and Constantine did not object. Well, let's go. Jiangnan strode forward, and the others followed behind him. Jiudmei looked at everyone turning around and leaving and said hurriedly, wait for the plan. At least there should be a general plan. Jiangnan frowned and said in confusion. Plan? Why do we need a plan? Just rush in. Don't be afraid, just do it. Run through the enemy. But if we have to talk about a plan, there is one. That is, everyone follow me and charge. Mingfei raised his hand and echoed loudly. Great. Jiudmei was a little speechless at this time. She had already seen the danger of Nibelungen through the information given by her former boss. It is really dangerous. That is a world called the Kingdom of the Dead, which does not exist in this dimension. Once you enter, you can't get out. Even death is a luxury. It is impossible to stop it. As a nanny, Jiudmei can only watch these big boys throwing tantrums and wantonly committing suicide like a naughty child. Passing through the rain, Jiudmei stood at the entrance of the Beijing subway station. People were coming and going around. Jiudmei looked at the information in her hand. This was the entrance to Nibelungen, detected by the earthquake frequency. It should be nearby. It's not easy to enter Nibelungen. Every Nibelungen is different. The bronze city we entered last time was a Nibelungen. We need a key or to master the rules of Nibelungen. Mingfei scratched his ears. Having seen the future, he naturally understood this Nibelungen. I just don't know if Jumunganda is also in Nibelungen now. Jumunganda is a beautiful and smart woman. She has a high IQ and is extremely good at disguise. She often sneaks into human society and has her own identity in human society. It is probably impossible to fool her. If you meet her, you can only fight. But don't be timid, just be reckless. Brutality may not be the best way to solve the problem, but it must be the best way. Jiangnan crossed his arms and looked complacent. Don't worry, I'm here. There is no place in the world that I can't go. Since there is no door, I will open one myself. Jiangnan snapped his fingers lightly. Green mist began to spread around at some point. The lively crowd and noisy footsteps gradually faded away. Nibelungen, the true kingdom of the dragon race, does not exist in the real dimension. It is a free realm constructed by alchemy. Now its door is open. Let's go. Jiangnan strode forward, where there was another subway station connected. It was a long abandoned subway station. It was also the destination of everyone's trip. The dragon's nest of the king of the earth and the mountain. Everyone quickly caught up with Jiangnan's pace. Darkness, fog, when you can see everything around you again. Everyone appeared in a new place. This is a very quiet platform. When everyone came here, the road behind disappeared. A faint mist filled the surroundings, adding a touch of mystery to this place. Chapter 107, Rushing Over. The subway station should be underground. But for some reason, rain was falling in. The wind is whistling, and the Ishu River is cold, and the warriors will never come back once they leave. In the wind and rain, such a dangerous place. Such a poetic conception. Jiang Nan couldn't help but recite a poem. Chiudmei helplessly covered her face. It was too shameful. But everyone had long been accustomed to Jiang Nan's shameless appearance. Mingfei looked at the station, which was connected in all directions, so he expanded his spiritual sense. But this alchemy may seem to block the exploration of the spirit. Mingfei couldn't perceive too many things at all. After all, he was too weak in the early stage of foundation building, and couldn't compare with the Dragon King. If you look with your eyes, you can only see the crisscrossing railways and trains running around. Mingfei said helplessly. Group leader, what should we do next? Jiang Nan smiled confidently, patted his chest, and said with assurance. Leave it to me. Let you see the power of rushing through everything. Mingfei thought of a possibility and said doubtfully. Do you want to destroy the entire Nibelungen? Jiang Nan waved his hand. Why would I blow up someone's house? They are terrorists, right? Mingfei looked at the crowd. They seemed to be even more outrageous than terrorists. Their purpose was to break into someone's house and kidnap their 3-year-old child, even though the child had the power to destroy the world and was a Dragon King. You should know that China has zero tolerance for human traffickers. How many people have lost their children and families because of human traffickers and even spend most of their lives looking for their children, but they found their children but didn't recognize them. There are countless families destroyed by human traffickers. The originally beautiful life has become fragmented because of this incident. Such a life is like a coffee table, full of tragedy and tragedy. Jiang Nan looked at the deep subway passage in front of him, and then raised his finger to the 3 subway crossings. Point sheep, whoever you point to is the big fat sheep. Jiang Nan's finger finally stopped at a central railway crossing. This road is a real way out of the maze. Let's go. So casual. Chiudmei said subconsciously. Jiang Nan's mouth curled up a smile. Don't worry, as long as the road I take is definitely correct, because I will always walk my own way. Stride forward. Don't look back. Walk along the railway. In front of everyone is a wall. Chiudmei's expression was numb, because she had already thought of this result. Sure enough, this road is not the right way. Jiang Nan looked at the wall in front of him and said. In fact, this is the exit of the maze. It's just that you are confused by the illusion, because of your lack of experience. This is Nibelungen. The rules here have long changed. We have to adapt to the new rules, and don't use common sense to spy on the world of Nibelungen. Jiang Nan said solemnly, as if it were true. Then he put his hand on the wall. Chiudmei didn't understand. She really didn't know much about Nibelungen. If possible, she didn't want to enter this kingdom of the dead. Really? Jiang Nan nodded. But Mingfei knew that the group leader was actually fooling people seriously. But one thing is correct. That is, the road Jiang Nan took is definitely the right one. Then Jiang Nan put his hand on the wall and patted it lightly. Hoo. The wall collapsed. A door appeared. Look, this is the mechanism of the maze. Some intersections will only appear at critical moments. If I don't come here at the right time, then this door will disappear. Chiudmei looked at the intersection that was obviously forced open and fell silent. Sure enough, it was very reckless and direct, not following the normal routine. The next step is to go straight all the way. Go straight through the entire maze and blast away the maze wall when you encounter it. If you encounter a train blocking the road, just push it away. In short, everything that blocked the road in front of them was kicked directly by Jiang Nan. Looking back, I saw holes appearing one after another on the straight road. Having power means you can do whatever you want. Walking on the road, countless rocks in the dark are shaking constantly. What will I encounter this time? Chiudmei took a flashlight and shone it on the shaking rocks in the dark. As a nanny, she carries with her various tools that are essential for life and adventure. She ensures that everyone in her group has something they can use at critical moments. It's good to have a nanny. She will worry, be responsible, give money to spend, and sometimes she can face challenges and solve various small troubles and problems. The walls of the tunnel are curved, and those shaking rocks are not rocks at all, but creatures. With the sudden appearance of light, these creatures in the dark have awakened. Chiudmei looked at the black shadows hanging on the tunnel one after another, and said in confusion. Could it be a bat? Bats are creatures that like to hang on the walls of dark caves the most. They like dark and humid environments. Mingfei looked at the black shadows that gradually woke up. It's not a bat, it's a sickle weasel, a blood-sucking sickle weasel. There should be tens of thousands of them. If they are targeted by them, we will have to endure the extreme punishment of being cut into pieces. Xiaoyan's hair stood on end for a moment. Cut into pieces. That is one of the 10 tortures in ancient times. Only the most heinous criminals would be subjected to such a death penalty and eventually die in endless pain. If she could choose a way to die, Xiao would never choose this way. The black sickle weasels stretched out their sharp claws like blades, and the single blade stretched out, shining coldly under the illumination of the flashlight. The golden pupils flickered with flames. These sickle weasels have the blood of the dragon clan. Then the bat-like membrane bat wings spread out, the thin eardrum kept trembling, and a sound that the human ear could not distinguish echoed around. The creatures in the dark rely on this sound wave to locate. The same is true for sickle weasels. Ordinary people in Nibelungen cannot enter at all, and the blood-sucking sickle weasels are carnivorous animals. In short, these tens of thousands of sickle weasels have been hungry for many years. At this moment, the living people here have become their targets, their food. The bat wings vibrated, as if a bird flapped its wings to fly. Here they come. Countless black shadows fell from the wall and rushed towards everyone with a sharp cold light. Almost in the blink of an eye, it crossed a distance of more than 10 meters and came in front of everyone. Everyone saw the true appearance of the sickle weasel at this time. It looked like a bat or a bird, with beautiful patterns engraved on its body, beautiful and deadly. As sickle weasels woke up one after another, this place has become their paradise. May turned around and wanted to run. She only had 9 bullets in her pistol. This was the maximum number of bullets after loading. 9 bullets against thousands of sickle weasels. The result is imaginable. Chapter 108, The Righteous Flame Dragon. Xiao wanted to run away, but the others were not afraid at all. Swords flashed and slashed, and the swords were chopped into pieces. Just when the attack was about to start, Liu Tang stood up. He took a good position, pressed the summoner of the flame dragon armor in his hand, and then crossed his hands above his head and took a handsome fighting posture. At the same time, he shouted loudly, "Flame dragon armor, combine." The violent flames swept around like a gust of wind. But everyone only felt the heat, but was not hurt by the flames. Instead, the sickle weasels that rushed over were burned to ashes by the flames. Xiao was confused. Could this flame automatically distinguish between enemies and friends like in the game? You have to know that the power triggered by the word spirit does not have this ability. An attack is an attack. It's like punching yourself. It's impossible that your body will be immune to the damage caused by this punch, just because it's your own attack. In the flames, a red armored figure emerged. The flame dragon man appeared. The flames illuminated the surroundings. Liu Tang subconsciously shook his wrist. As everyone knows, the flame dragon man has a bit of arthritis. Before a fight, you have to shake your wrists to feel comfortable. I'm going to fight. Old Tang got ready, and then his hands burned with terrifying flames. Flame fist. The burning flames were naturally Junyan. Flames are just one way Junyan manifests. The real function of the word spirit Junyan is actually heating. Instant heating. Heating the objects in the field, and then blasting them. The owner of Junyan can be said to be a humanoid self-propelled artillery launcher, and also carries an infinite number of bombs. As long as the person is not dead, he can continue to blast after his physical strength is restored. If you are more proficient in controlling Junyan, you can absorb the ultra-high temperature and solidify it around the body or other objects. The Junyan flame field formed in this way cannot be seen on the surface. Only the flowing black can be seen. Once the field is destroyed, after it is generated, the extremely dense Junyan will explode violently in an instant, and the power of hitting an ordinary target is no less than a napalm bomb. The King of Bronze and Fire has absolute command and power over fire. The hot and dangerous Junyan is like plasticine in his hands, and he can control it as he wants. Old Tang punched it out. The flames formed a huge red dragon. This is the kind of dragon in China. Oyayi records that horns are like deer, head is like camel, eyes are like rabbit, neck is like snake, belly is like clam, scales are like fish, Claws are like eagle, palms are like tiger, ears are like cow. The dragon coiled, and wherever it passed, all sickle weasels turned into ashes. The flames illuminated the night, and the scorching temperature made the air a little distorted. Thousands of high temperatures burned all creatures on the road, and then the red flame dragon entered the depths of the tunnel and exploded. Bang! The flame explosion destroyed everything. It directly blew up the sickle weasel's nest. The flames caused by the explosion spread rapidly around like a tornado. The terrifying shockwave made the whole tunnel tremble constantly. Fortunately, this is Nibelungen, a self-built domain created by alchemy. This domain is extremely tough, and can withstand the bombing of Xiao Yan. Feeling the tremor coming from under his feet, Xiao Yan said, "This tunnel won't collapse." Old Tang turned around, and the flame dragon armor on his body was handsome and compelling. If he stood on the street, he would definitely attract a lot of children to come and watch. "I'm the righteous flame dragon warrior. My light is destined to illuminate the darkness. The range of the flame fist explosion will not affect here, don't worry." Old Tang posed in a handsome pose again. Then the armor was removed. This was also designed by Xiao Yan. Xiao suddenly found that the armor just now seemed familiar, but she was sure that it was the first time she saw Old Tang transformed into the flame dragon warrior. She didn't recognize it, but Mingfei did. Because the appearance of the flame dragon armor is exactly the same as the flame dragon armor in a special drama, Armor Hero. It was a special drama that was broadcast recently. Mingfei watched it when he was free to catch up with the drama. "Old Tang, did you just become the flame dragon warrior? So cool." Mingfei's eyes lit up. Which boy doesn't have a middle school dream? Transforming into a handsome armor hero is the dream of many children after the broadcast of Armor Hero. The handsome leather suit, wearing it on the body, and walking on the street, will definitely attract other people's attention and the admiring eyes of children. Old Tang scratched his head a little embarrassedly. "It's pretty cool, and it was given to me by my elder brother." Mingfei looked at the flame dragon armor summoner in Old Tang's hand and said excitedly, "Can I use it? Does this thing also require the blood of the descendants of the Hokage village? Does it use the Hokage stone?" Old Tang thought about the principle of using the flame dragon armor transformer that Xiao Yan told him. This is just a key, the key to open the seal on them. Actually, it's just a key. After a while of explanation, Mingfei didn't know what this so-called flame dragon armor summoner was. He couldn't use it. Group leader. Mingfei turned his head and looked at Xiao Yan. His eyes were full of hope. "I refuse. Is it interesting for you, a cultivator, to be an armor warrior? But it's super cool. The red armor, the handsome appearance, the metal texture, it's so cool." Mingfei jumped up and expressed his excitement. He had hoped to have a mysterious identity, live an ordinary life during the day, disguised as a loser, and save the world at night. But reality told him that he was just a loser, without that mysterious identity, and only a lonely throne was waiting for him. Xiao Yan scratched his ears in boredom. "If you want to play role-playing, you can be a weapon refiner yourself, practice one yourself, or buy a leather suit. You, a cultivator, don't need the power of the flame dragon armor. That kind of extra thing will make you go on another path." Mingfei thought of his future destiny. Then he calmed down. He would not do such a thing as throwing away the watermelon to pick up sesame seeds. If you want to play with things of other systems, at least you have to walk your own path first, so that even if you go astray occasionally, you can get back on track. Learning one thing in the East and one thing in the West will only make your path more and more blurred in the end. Eventually become a half-baked person. Not good at the East, not good at the West. The flame dragon armor of Liu Tang and Constantine is actually just a way of expressing power. It is not a real flame dragon armor. They still use their power and interests, the power of their dragon king. After all, the flame dragon armor made by Xiao Yan is just a key, a prop. Mingfei strengthened his heart. The road to immortal cultivation is still long, and he has just stepped into the foundation building stage. It can only be regarded as the official entry into the immortal cultivation path. If he switches to another system at this time, it will only make his power chaotic. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. we cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 109, God of Gamblers. Passed through half of the maze. Everything that blocked the way was broken into pieces. Mingfei looked back and saw a road behind them that was smashed out by them. Keep going forward. This time, everyone came to the most critical place. This is an old platform that has long been abandoned. The paint on the surrounding walls has peeled off, but you can vaguely make out a few large characters written on the wall. Fushaoling Station, and there is a date next to it, 1977. This is the last checkpoint. Passing through here is equivalent to passing through the entire maze. After that, you will meet the child, and then kidnap him, and ask for ransom. Jiang Nan smiled happily. It seems that his conspiracy has been accomplished. Mingfei remembered that in the future, described in the Dragon Clan novel, it was in this place that he used the plugin that his younger brother opened for him to play Texas Hold'em and beat the Sickle Weasel Queen, and finally met Fenrir, the king of the earth and mountains who represented power. The child's IQ is really only 3 years old, and he is not hostile to any creature. It's just that his body is too huge. Even if half of his body is sealed in the rock wall, the exposed body alone is 30 meters long. At the same time, it exudes the majesty of the Dragon King all the time. The terrifying roar, coupled with the majesty of the Dragon King, can instantly shatter the heart of the dragon-slaying hero in history. This is the true power of the Dragon King. In the dark passage in the distance, the sound of something rubbing against the ground was remembered. In this silent space, the sound is so sensitive. Everyone looked in the direction of the sound. The brilliant incandescent light illuminated the appearance of the person coming. It was a figure wearing a wide black robe, which looked like a human, but in fact it was not a human. Mingfei pondered for a moment, and instantly understood who the person was. The queen of the Komeitachi, the gatekeeper. At the same time, she is also part of the rules of this alchemical maze. She is the dealer on the gambling table. People trapped in this alchemical maze need to win the dealer to get out. If they can't win, they will stay here forever. There is no death here. There is only endless loneliness and reincarnation. Loneliness is a bargaining chip here. The queen of the Komeitachi revealed her face under the cloak. That look scared everyone. Even Mingfei, who was prepared, could not help but be stunned. No matter how detailed the words are, they cannot describe the extremely ugly face. 9 heads kept swaying, connected to 9 slender necks, and each head had a different appearance. Under the body was a fat body, and the ugly wings were attracted inside the body, but the awkward appearance could still be seen. Welcome here, everyone. Another person is here, and we can play games again. Intruder, let's play at the gambling table together. If you want to get out, you have to bet against me. The 9 heads made different sounds, and they used different tones and intonations. At this time, it was like a severe schizophrenia. Jiang Nan was ready to take action, and he would rush past anything that stood in his way. Looking at Jiang Nan, who was about to take action, Guan suddenly made a very provocative tone that deserved a beating. No way, no way, no one would dare not even play games with me. You are scared. Hehe, you are scared. Little idiot, you are not even qualified to gamble with me. No one has never even played poker. The corners of everyone's mouth twitched. The dealer can be said to be in trouble. It depends on how Jiang Nan will do it. As a gatekeeper, the dealer's duty is to use the rules in the alchemy maze to block intruders. There is no doubt that Jiang Nan and his friends are the intruders. The method used by the dealer is just the simplest provocation. But there is no doubt that this provocation is effective for Jiang Nan. If it is a power duel, Jiang Nan will not even pay attention to it. If it blocks the way, just kick it away. But the game is different. The provocation from the game is the biggest provocation to the fun people. It is a supervillain who denies their concept of a happy life. Very good, you have successfully angered me. You should know that the word game is one of the few sources of happiness for me who has the power of an immortal. Since you teased me on this, I will defeat you in the game. This is related to my identity as a game player. I'm betting my dignity. Let's duel. Jiang Nan leaned sideways and pointed his finger at the dealer. His eyes and expression were so serious and so cold. Very good. Applause came from under the black robe. In fact, the rules of this alchemy maze, the dealers at the beginning, did not have so much wisdom. There are even many game loopholes that can be exploited. Only as the game progresses, the difficulty begins to increase. And the dealers will also have wisdom, and even calculate, disguise, speak, and provoke. It was originally like this. But everyone came here by breaking the rules of the game along the way. Violating the rules also caused the dealers to directly open the nightmare level of difficulty at the beginning. Disguise, provoke, and be wise. Texas Hold'em, Golden Flower, Bullfight, Dice. I know all of them. You can choose whatever you want. The dealer brought the gambling table and sat in the dealer's seat. He had a deck of cards in his hand. Everyone sat down. Jiang Nan sat opposite the dealer. King against king, king against king. Then Jiang Nan clapped his hands. Mingfei, play BGM. Lu Mingfei took out his mobile phone and turned up the volume to the maximum. Then the music started. The thick subwoofer roared wildly. That was the music of the god of gamblers Xiao Yan for its appearance. As the music reached its climax, Jiang Nan stroked his forehead with one hand and then slowly moved his palm backwards, and his messy hair began to fall backwards as if it was covered with hairspray. It appeared, the legendary blue dyeing trick hairspray hand. When Jiang Nan put his hand down, his somewhat messy hair had become a big back hair, shiny and handsome. Lu Mingfei waved his hand, and a black cloak appeared, and then draped over Jiang Nan's body, and a thick cigar was handed over by Lu Mingfei respectfully. Jiang Nan held it with one hand, and Lu Mingfei took out a lighter and bent down to light it, looking like a lackey. Jiang Nan took a light puff, and blew out a smoke ring. The dealer was stunned. Someone was so pretentious in front of him. The last time I saw this scene was in the movie God of Gamblers. Although he was stunned for a few seconds, because of the influence of the rules, the dealer began to give coins according to the degree of loneliness of the other party. As a result, it couldn't see the degree of Jiang Nan's loneliness at all. To see through Jiang Nan, you must at least have the same level of strength as him. Obviously, this dealer didn't have it. But according to the rules, he couldn't help but give it. Finally, an ancient gold coin was taken out by the dealer and pushed in front of Jiang Nan. This ancient gold coin is worth tens of thousands of dollars if it is placed outside. But in Dragon's Nest, it is the least valuable thing because it is everywhere here. Scarcity makes things valuable. Chapter 110. Thinking back to the past. The rules of the gambling table here are that an ancient gold coin is not that valuable. 100 ancient gold coins are equal to 1 compass. 10 compasses are equal to 1 Arctic Ocean bottle cap. When Lu Mingfei first came here, he got an Arctic Ocean bottle cap. It is equal to 1000 ancient gold coins. Jiang Nan played with the ancient gold coin in his hand. Back then, Chen Daozi was able to win 37 million with 20 yuan. It is not a problem for me, Jiang Nan, to win 1 million with 1 yuan, right? He spoke in a domineering manner, and then put the gold coin in his hand on the table. The rules of the gambling table are that you can leave with 1000 bottle caps. It is equivalent to winning 1 million ancient gold coins. Let your principal multiply 1 million times. Even the best gamblers dare not make such a guarantee. The dealer looked at the others again. Do you want to play? The others just smiled and shook their heads. Although they were seated, they did not express their intention to participate in this gambling game. The dealer has no right to force others to gamble with him. So they became spectators. Don't say I'm bullying you, just play what you're best at. Jiang Nan knocked on the table lightly, speaking in an extremely domineering manner. Then let's play Texas Hold'em. The dealer shuffled the cards and said, Texas Hold'em is a common way to play in gambling, consisting of open cards and hidden cards. The open cards can be seen by everyone, and the hidden cards can only be seen by oneself. After that, there are pairs, 3 of a kind, straight flushes, and the biggest card is a royal flush. A crazy gambler may not be able to open a royal flush several times in his life. Playing this kind of card requires not only luck, but also psychological games. You need to use some means to bluff the opponent to achieve your goal. Weak cards may not necessarily lose, and strong cards may not necessarily win. This requires your gambling skills. At the same time, you must be good at calculations and calculate the number of rows. Jiangnan nodded. The game begins. All in. Round 1. Royal Flush. Jiangnan showed his cards without hesitation. Hearts 10, J, Q, K, A. No card is bigger than this. Jiangnan won without a doubt. His chips doubled. Loomings once said at the gambling table, as long as you bring $1 to Las Vegas, bet on odds and evens, and win every time, win 28 times in a row, and you will win the whole city. Although it was not a bet on odds and evens, but if you win, your chips will double. In the first round, a royal flush was opened. Just take it as luck. In the second round, Jiangnan continued to play all in. The dealer is not allowed to discard a single pair of single pairs. As the cards were revealed in the second round, Jiangnan still had a royal flush. The same was true for the third round, the fourth, fifth, sixth. The dealer didn't remember how many times he had shuffled the cards. But every time, there was no doubt that Jiangnan had a royal flush. Sometimes it was even the dealer who opened the cards. This terrible luck was as if the goddess of luck fell in love with him. You lose. When Jiangnan turned over his hidden cards again, it was still a royal flush. At this time, there were more than 1,000 Arctic Ocean bottle caps on Jiangnan's table. You lost, and of course you also lost your life. Jiangnan tapped the table gently. In an instant, the dealer's body exploded, and then turned into ashes, and dissipated into nothingness. It was just a game. It didn't take too long. Jiangnan stood up, and his hands gently floated his coat. He turned and left without taking a cloud. Where is the applause? Jiangnan raised his hands. In an instant, all the remaining people applauded. After solving the elite monster guarding the gate, the sickle weasel queen, everyone continued to move forward. Walking forward along the wet tunnel. At the end of the tunnel is an open area, so vast that you can't see the edge. Such a huge underground cavity requires a lot of manpower and material resources to create. There are coal slags on the ground, and golden lanterns are hanging in the air, flickering. This is the end of the subway tunnel. The end of the maze. Fenrir's room. Everyone continued to move forward. There were traces of artificial excavation everywhere. Something was floating in the dark. Jiudmei had already taken out her pistol and was ready. The yellow lantern above his head was swaying constantly, sometimes becoming dim, as if the eyes were blinking constantly. No, it was the eyes. The extremely hard rock began to vibrate, and countless cracks appeared. Then the rock continued to fluctuate, and something like a snake stretched out from the rock wall. The lantern hanging high was the eye of this creature, the eye of the Dragon King Fenrir. Jiudmei seemed to have noticed this, so she shone the flashlight in her hand towards the position of the lantern. Under the light, Fenrir showed his true appearance. Dense black scales covered his whole body. The huge wings contracted in his body. The pair of eyes as big as lanterns stared at everyone. A 30-meter long dragon appeared. Jiudmei was seeing a pure-blooded Dragon King for the first time. Even though this Dragon King was not mentally mature and was as innocent as a 3-year-old child, the supreme pressure emanating from his body made Jiudmei unable to think of resisting. There was no escape. The first time she saw the giant dragon, Jiud had this thought in her mind. Dragons are actually quite abstract to hybrids. Because dragons can change their body structure, even the size of their bones and the style of their organs. Sometimes dragons appear as 4-legged lizards, and sometimes they become snakes with horns. Or they become humans and hide in human society. When the mysterious veil is unveiled, what hybrids see is the supreme majesty. Fenrir stared coldly at the ants that entered his room. Compared with his body, everyone was too small. The blue-black dragon scales opened and closed like breathing, rubbing and shaking constantly. Fenrir slowly opened his mouth. A king's roar came from his throat. The terrifying sound caused waves of tremors. Jiud felt her heart explode, and she began to faint. Hybrids are too weak after all. She fainted directly, after being roared by the Dragon King. This is already considered good. If it were a hybrid with a low bloodline, the heart might have exploded at this moment. Mingfei was quick to hug Jiudmei, who was about to fall. He had no time to appreciate the beautiful lady in his arms. The pressure Fenrir put on him was too great. The king of the Earth Mountain, representing power, was indeed very terrifying. Mingfei's eyes were fixed on the majestic and terrifying head in the air. This was a majesty that no reptile could match. Fenrir seemed to feel that he had done something wrong, and the long head began to shrink. His eyes flickered. Chapter 111, Cheating a Child. Fenrir lowered his head, which was held high, like a child in trouble. His sharp claws were placed on the ground. What a good child. Jiang Nan saw this scene with a sly smile on his face. I like good children the most, so don't yell. Children who like to yell are the least favorite targets of human traffickers. Sure enough, naughty children are hated wherever they are. You won. Fenrir opened his mouth. His voice was strong and majestic, but no matter how you listen to his tone, it always sounds like a child. Jiang Nan nodded. Yes, we won. And then I met you, Fenrir, the king of the earth and the mountains. Fenrir tilted his head. Do you know me? Of course I know you. Jiang Nan had a very cunning smile on his face. And I'm also very good friends with your sister Jumungand, the kind that can't be better. If she knew I was here, she would definitely want to say something heartfelt to me. The smile on Jiang Nan's face became even more cunning, as if the big bad wolf was deceiving Little Red Riding Hood. You know my sister, really? Fenrir's eyes were a little wary. Jiang Nan's tone became more serious than ever before, with a convincing feeling. You have to believe me, and what can a tiny human like me do to you? Isn't your sister very cute, beautiful, gentle, with thick long hair, and speaks very nicely? Fenrir's eyes were very innocent and pure. After hearing someone praise his sister like this, he immediately put down his vigilance and nodded vigorously. Really? You know my sister? Fenrir's tone was a little excited. Jiang Nan fooled the child without any guilt. And the IQ of the child was only 3 years old. Mingfei breathed a sigh of relief after seeing that the danger was lifted. He was ready to pull out the 7 deadly sins and fight to slay the dragon if something unexpected happened. Here you go. Fenrir happily took out his treasured potato chips. Sharing what you like with others, such a selfless spirit touched Jiang Nan very much. Sure enough, such a good child only appears in other people's homes. The ones in my family are always naughty kids. In this way, Jiang Nan began to get closer to Fenrir, speaking human language to people and dragon language to dragons. A social expert, he made the Dragon King put down all his vigilance in just 3 minutes. Mingfei only had time to take a look at the beautiful woman in his arms at this time. Ahem, I'm a serious person, wake up first. It seems that I need to pinch Renzang. Jiudmei opened her eyes, and then I saw Mingfei's serious face. And his hand was placed in front of his nose, pinching it hard. What are you doing? Jiudmei said with narrowed eyes. Mingfei put away his hand. Of course I'm pinching Renzang. Jiudmei shook her dizzy brain, and suddenly she remembered the scene she saw before she fainted. It was the Dragon King. She was stunned by the absolute bloodline suppression and dragon power. This level of pressure was enough to make her heart explode and her organs fail. It can be said that it is a miracle that she is still alive now. Jiudmei stood up from Mingfei's arms. As soon as she stood up, she saw a man and a dragon talking and laughing in the distance, as if they were friends who had not seen each other for many years. It's hard to imagine how those dragon slayers killed this monster in an era without hot weapons. The history of the dragon world has been buried about the existence of dragons. Only the world of mixed bloods can see some real dragon history in fragments. Mingfei put the 7 deadly sins of alchemical swords into his sea of consciousness and continued to nurture them. Isn't it cool? Mingfei was not affected by the dragon's might at all, nor did he feel any fear, even if Fenrir turned his head and could bite him to death. Jiudmei couldn't do this, because this was the fear brought by her bloodline. Old Tang also walked over at this time. Long time no see, brother. The 4 elemental dragon kings are all children of the Black King. In other words, the 8 of them are brothers and sisters. Fenrir raised his head and looked at Old Tang, and the huge and majestic dragon head stretched out. Then his nose twitched slightly. He smelled the breath of fire. Are you my brother? Old Tang poked out a little head from the back. Hello, brother Fenrir. The little head was Constantine, the child who always hid behind his brother. Old Tang rubbed Constantine's little head lovingly. You should have sensed my breath. After all, I'm also the king of bronze and fire. Dragons also have the sorrow of blood. Loneliness can drive people crazy. Only the same kind can hug each other for warmth. So seeing his own kind and brothers, Fenry was very happy and waved his arms. Watch TV, watch TV. I invite you to watch TV. It's the best. The naive child did not know the rules of the dragon world. People need to learn, and dragons also need to learn. Fenry has never left this alchemical maze since he was born. He knows the outside world by watching TV, and his IQ of only 3 years old makes it impossible for Jumunganda to teach him the cruel law of life in the dragon world. In the dragon world, the strong live, and the weak die. Pure-blooded dragons need to devour their own kind if they want to become stronger. Devour dragons who are also pure-blooded dragons. This is exactly why Jumunganda chose to sneak into Castle Academy. She wanted to devour Constantine to gain power and advance to become the god of death Hela. Fenrir's huge claws groped in the dark for a while and then took out a 40-inch old-fashioned big head TV. Then he carefully plugged it in. The TV flashed a few times and started playing. It was a movie. It was Stephen Chow's Gambler. Fenry seemed to have watched it many times, but he was still so focused and serious when he watched it again. And he also took out all the best snacks he had hidden. For relatives, this Dragon King with a mind of only 3 years old is still very eager. For thousands of years, he has only his sister Jumunganda to accompany him. So when the King of Bronze and Fire appeared, he took out his best things. These are the snacks that Jumunganda usually buys for him. Jumunganda actually loves his brother very much. He has been with him for thousands of years. Even a dog has feelings for him, not to mention his own brother, who trusts him unconditionally and loves him forever. It's just that the Black King has awakened. These traitors will eventually be punished by the Black King. In order to deal with the coming storm, Jumunganda can only give birth to the goddess of death Hela. The reason why Fenry calls Jumunganda's sister is because his IQ is too low. In his heart, the smart, beautiful, gentle, and mature Jumunganda is the sister. Chapter 112. Have you ever thought about going out to play? Everyone sat on the rocks and watched the movie on TV. It turns out that dragons and humans can get along so harmoniously. Jiangnan clapped his hands. What a rare atmosphere. Let's take a photo. Jiangnan took out his mobile phone and turned on the selfie mode. Fenry tilted his head. The picture displayed by this small box was very delicate. This is a mobile phone from the future. Multifunctional, waterproof and anti-smash beige smart copycat mobile phone. Others did not object, so they gathered together. Chiudmei stood at the front. Fenry stood at the back, only his head was exposed. Cheese. The flashlight lit up. There was a click. The photo was taken. The photo appeared in the mobile phone, and everyone gathered around to look. In the dark environment, several young people leaned together and smiled. The innocent child hugged his brother tightly. The enthusiastic young man smiled, and the charming woman's smile was always a little reluctant. Behind everyone was a huge dragon head that occupied the entire picture. The majestic aura could be exuded even through the photo. Although it was just a whim, Jiangnan still saved the photo. This is proof that he has been here. When he recalls the past again in the future, this photo will be his most cherished treasure. He has been to this world before, watching movies with friends and dragons. Jiangnan put away his phone. Then he spoke to Fenry. Do you want to go out? Do you want to leave this alchemical maze? Fenry was slightly stunned. Although he really wanted to go out and see the outside world, his sister Jumunganda had told him not to go out. That's true. If this Dragon King with an IQ of only 3 years old goes out, it is estimated that he will be faced with various intercontinental missiles. You must know that most dragon slayers are crazy and will do anything to kill the Dragon King. Jiangnan saw that Fenry was very hesitant, so he continued to tempt him. There are endless fries, endless spicy strips, endless snacks, endless drinks, and many better movies outside. Fenry's eyes flickered and he spoke. But my sister won't let me go out. Our 3-year-old child is at the age of being curious about everything. The colorful world is fascinating. How could Fenry not want to go out and have a look? He wanted to eat snacks every day, watch TV every day, act wild, run around crazily. He wanted freedom. In this alchemical maze, he could only stay in this place. Sometimes his sister Jumunganda hadn't come back after he finished eating snacks. Fenrir could only wait. Sometimes he even wanted to go out to look for her, but half of his body was embedded in the rock. Fenrir was like a pet in shackles and couldn't leave this home at all. Of course, this was also Jumunganda's protection for him. Jiangnan patted his chest. Don't we have us? I'm your sister's friend, and these two are your brothers. Can we harm you? Fenrir was still hesitant. Jiangnan continued to say temptingly, look, we are all friends now. You have to trust me. And do you really not want to go out at all? I can help you get your body embedded in the rock out. Think about it. There are more snacks, more fun games, and better movies waiting for you outside. Jiangnan persuaded step by step, just like the witch who tricked Snow White into eating the apple. Fenrir swallowed his saliva, his eyes full of longing. Really? Sister won't scold me, will she? No, I swear on Mingfei that I will be single for another 30 years. Jiangnan said with a smile. Mingfei was slightly stunned, and then complained. Group leader, don't swear on me. Fenrir's majestic and strong face showed a smile. The smile was full of innocence and joy. Well, great, you are a good man, brother. But how do you get my body out? Jiangnan smiled when he heard this naive child calling him brother. 3-year-olds are really the easiest to fool. Then, Jiangnan came to the rock wall that bound Fenrir. Then he clapped his hands lightly, and a terrifying shockwave reverberated back and forth in the rock wall. Countless cracks appeared, densely packed. Then the rock gradually drifted away like ashes. Fenrir felt that the rock that bound half of his body disappeared. He took a step forward, and the huge force made the ground tremble. It was a 50-meter long dragon. The Dragon King who possessed the spirit of extinction in the realm of death. Hehe, I can move, I can go out to play. Fenrir turned around excitedly, happy like a child. Jiangnan nodded with satisfaction. Then let's go out to play. Fenrir. After gaining freedom, Fenrir was very happy and excited. He was even happier when he heard that he was going out to play. All the vigilance and the things his sister Jumunganda had told him were thrown away. Now the child's idea is to go out and play, run wild, and wantonly release his nature. However, if he really did this, it would probably not take long before several cities would be destroyed. Then he was killed by the half-bloods. Even if Fenrir didn't have the idea of destroying everything, what he did normally was enough to destroy the world. It's like you accidentally stepped on an ant while walking. You didn't realize what you did, but the ant was already dead. Fenrir was in this state. He was too strong. The powerful strength didn't match his mind. It was like a child holding a nuclear bomb, which could explode at any time. Jiangnan stretched out his hand, and Fenrir lowered his head slightly. Jiangnan stroked the proud Dragon King. The vibration caused by Fenrir's release made the ground near the Beijing subway shake constantly. Jumunganda, disguised as a human, was learning knowledge in human society. Feeling the vibration from the ground, her pupils shrank. How could it be? Jumunganda stood up suddenly. The teacher who was giving a lecture on the stage had a strange look in his eyes. This good student seemed a little abnormal today. Jumunganda forced a smile and said, "Teacher, I suddenly remembered something. Please excuse me." After saying that, Jumunganda left here, and then instantly transformed into a dragon, and began to accelerate, rushing towards his own Nibelungen. Beijing is the capital of China. It is a prosperous city. The permanent population has reached tens of millions. There are also helicopters from the TV tower, which often come here to shoot. If Fenrir appears here, it will definitely cause a huge sensation. Chapter 113, Soaring in the Sky. Jumunganda is a smart girl. She can predict what will happen if her brother suddenly appears in the sky above Beijing. Damn it, who is it? Is he back? Impossible. How can it be so fast? I haven't even started what I want to do. The hybrids in the dragon world are hiding the truth about the existence of dragons. The secret of dragons is too heavy for ordinary people. For the stability of society, they have to be hidden. Before Jumunganda could rush back, he heard a deafening dragon roar. A huge crack appeared on the ground of the Beijing subway, and then a hole was formed. The exit of Nibelungen was opened. A huge black shadow flew out of the exit, covering the sky. The huge 50-meter body kept circling in the sky. The pressure emitted by the Dragon King enveloped the entire area. Xiao Yan sat on Fenrir's head and looked at the tiny humans on the ground. That day, humans finally remembered the fear of being dominated by dragons. Fenrir waved his wings, and he finally came out. The sun in the sky was so big and so beautiful. White clouds, blue sky, tall buildings. He was curious about everything. But he didn't notice that the pressure he exuded all the time had attracted the enemy of the Dragon King, the Half-Bloods. With the appearance of Fenrir, the Half-Blood groups received information and intelligence from all sides. The Dragon King, the king of the earth and the mountain, appeared in Beijing. The Half-Blood families rioted one by one. They were all ancestral dragon-slaying families. Fenrir looked at the tall buildings below, and there was no place to stop. I want to eat potato chips. Xiao Yan touched Fenrir's forehead. Okay, but let's fly to the sky first, because trouble is coming. Beijing is the capital of China, and its military power is very terrifying. If it weren't for the fact that Fenrir appeared in the sky above the city of Beijing, then the intercontinental missiles would have flattened him directly. Fenrir nodded. The huge dragon wings flapped quickly, and the body continued to rise, and then entered the white clouds. At this time, several fighter planes passed through the sky in the distance. These fighter planes rushed to the place where Fenrir disappeared, but in the end they found nothing. In the clouds, Xiao Yan and his group sat steadily on the head of the Dragon King. Mei held Xiao Yan tightly, fearing that Fenrir would accidentally throw her off. Mingfei was better off sitting on the head of the Dragon King and looking at the scenery in the distance. Old Tang and Constantine didn't feel much. Mei was also the first hybrid to ride on the head of the Dragon King. This feeling was thrilling. Xiao Yan turned his head slightly, and the thing chasing him had disappeared. At this time, the internet had exploded. Beijing is a big city, and there are many people who come here to work, and the subway station provides convenience for these people. But everyone wants this convenience, so they need to squeeze into the subway. It can be imagined how many people saw this scene at the subway station when the Dragon King appeared. They recorded videos and took photos with their mobile phones. Then they posted them on the internet and exclaimed loudly. As we all know, no matter how dangerous the matter is, take a circle of friends first. However, these photos and videos were deleted soon. Internet control began. This matter was suppressed by various forces. Then the experts began to explain. They said that this was a natural phenomenon, an illusion. Others who have never seen a dragon naturally don't believe it, no matter what those who have seen it say. Castle Academy. The academy that trains dragon slayers. At this time, in the central computer room, Norma was playing a video about the king of the earth and the mountain. It was a video recorded by a passerby with a mobile phone. The picture was very shaky. Even faintly, one could hear the screams and fears of humans. The ground was shaking, and the huge beast was constantly circling in the sky. The terrifying pressure enveloped the whole scene. Even just watching the video, one could feel the majestic and incomparable posture. A Dragon King was born. Everyone present watched the majestic figure in the video in silence. That was their future goal, the Dragon King. The video ended quickly. Then photos taken from various angles flashed on the computer screen. Principal Ange sat in the highest position, his eyes full of heat. This is a real dragon slayer. A madman who is willing to make a deal with the devil to slay the Dragon King. The Dragon King has awakened, and after circling in the sky for a minute, he left, as if he had received an order from someone. Ange's words were like a drop of cold water poured into hot oil. After the death of the Black King, the king of the Dragon Clan was the highest existence. Since ancient times, the only one who could command them was the Black King who once ruled the world. Maybe the Black King is alive. With a teasing tone, as if he was joking. The one who spoke was the vice principal, the night watchman, who suppressed the powerful hybrids of the entire Castle Academy by himself. His word spirit discipline directly prevented hundreds of hybrids in Castle Academy from using word spirits. At this time, he was sitting on the soft sofa board, holding a goblet of expensive red wine in his hand. Only he dared to answer Ange's words like this. Ange also knew the character of his old friend. This is not a funny joke. The vice principal shrugged his shoulders. Those who can attend this meeting are all top dragon slayers. The ace specialist of the executive department. The perverted otaku of the equipment department. the president of the student union, Caesar, the president of the Lionheart Club, Chuzahang, the vice principal's favorite disciple, Finkel, and a dozen mixed bloods with bloodlines reaching level A. They looked up at the majestic figure in the picture. Angus continued to speak. According to the information sent later, the dragon disappeared after flying into the clouds, as if it was deliberately erased by someone. This time, the king of the earth and the mountain appeared, bringing a lot of information. The school's board of directors began to move like a mouse smelling sesame oil. The Dragon King is an existence that can activate the word of destruction. Once, the king of the earth and the mountain activated the word of destruction, the Shiva Karma dance, in India, and directly destroyed a large city. And this word of destruction is also named after Shiva, who destroyed the world in Indian mythology. Norma began to analyze the power of the Dragon King from some of the information pictures on the internet around him. Principal Ange, from the on-site surveillance and the video on the internet, the Dragon King seems to have a very precise control of its power. The shaking ground did not cause any damage to the subway station, and no one in the crowded subway station was injured. Ange frowned tightly. This was not good news. And Norma's cloud computer could come to such a conclusion, so it was probably the real conclusion. Chapter 114, Chase. No damage was done. Of course it was controlled by Jiangnan. But Castle Academy didn't know, so it caused a misunderstanding. They mistakenly thought that the king of the earth and the mountain was not a monster that only knew how to destroy, and he could accurately control his power. This is not a good sign. A sharpshooter is different from a child who just touched a gun. Caesar looked at the majestic Dragon King on his computer screen and said with a chuckle, according to the battles between the hybrids and the Dragon King in the past history, every time the Dragon King appeared, it must have brought unparalleled natural disasters. Flames, earthquakes, strong winds, and heavy rains. However, this time it appeared quietly, and we don't even know how long the Dragon King has been lurking under the Beijing subway. You know, the Beijing subway is the most crowded place in the city every morning. Everyone fell into silence again. They also know too little about the Dragon Clan. At this point in time, almost no one knows that there are actually twins on the Dragon King's throne. Angus tapped the table lightly. The Dragon King has appeared, so we have to be prepared. From now on, Castle Academy will be on alert. I believe that dragon will appear again. Norma nodded on the computer screen. The various specialists of the executive department received new tasks. When the Dragon King appears next time, they will attack him in groups. After flying in the sky for a while, Fenry finally landed in an empty abandoned factory under Jiangnan's instructions. At this time, they had already flown out of the city of Beijing. The giant dragon fell, shaking up waves of smoke. Fortunately, there was no one here. There was no panic. I'm so happy. Fenry waved his claws and said happily. The first time he went out, the first time he left home, he saw the blue sky and the white clouds. He saw the vast world. He could spread his wings and fly freely, and he could stretch his body freely. Fenry lay on the ground with his tail down. The black scales were densely connected together, and the sunlight reflected the obsidian-like cluster on the scales. Then everyone jumped down from Fenry's head one by one. After they got down, Chiudmei's legs were shaking. Now she also understood that Fenry was really just a 3-year-old child. But it was because of the child that it was dangerous. Chiudmei was just an ant in Fenry's eyes. The child naively broke all the legs of the ants, watched them roll on the ground, and then split their bodies in two. Man is evil at the beginning. Mingfei looked at the huge Fenry. Group leader, what should we do next? Jiangnan showed an extremely evil smile. You have to eat step by step, and do things slowly. You sign the contract first, or Orochimaru should teach you the art of summoning spirits. And I remember that the Lingxiao sect of Zeuxin seems to have the method of controlling beasts, and the skills of the foundation building period are not expensive in the group mall. Mingfei clicked on the group mall. The method of controlling spirit beasts is indeed not expensive, nor is it difficult to learn. It just teaches people how to communicate with spirit beasts with their own spiritual power. The summoning technique is a ninjutsu from the world of Naruto. After the practitioner signs a blood contract with the summoned beast, they can summon it to fight. It belongs to the space-time ninjutsu. Mingfei is a disciple of Orochimaru. Orochimaru originally wanted him to sign the summoning contract of Ryachidan. But Mingfei is not from the world of Naruto at all. No matter how powerful the summoning technique is, it is impossible to summon creatures from another world across one world. In the end, Mingfei only learned the summoning technique and did not sign a contract with any powerful creature. However, Mingfei and the Dragon Clan are quite predestined. Those who want to sign a contract with him are all creatures related to dragons. Fenrir, do you want to sign a contract with me? I can take you out to play at any time, buy you food and drinks, play games with you, and teach you how to play StarCraft. Mingfei said softly. Fenrir tilted his head. This kid has never played online games. I believe that, after getting in touch with it, he will soon like this thing. Old Tang nodded seriously and spoke. Fenrir, you won't suffer. If you follow Leolu, you will be provided with food and shelter, and you are very good at playing games. You can show off, fly, and rush into the garbage dump. Jiangnan also stepped forward and said, don't you want to continue to play in the future? Don't you want to continue to be trapped in that maze watching TV and eat better snacks? Chiodmei watched everyone patiently deceive a Dragon King with an IQ of only 3 years old. Fenrir finally contributed a drop of his blood in a daze. Then he signed a contract with Mingfei. A spiritual contract. Indistinctly, Fenrir and Mingfei had a connection. As long as this connection exists, Mingfei can summon Fenrir anywhere. Please give me more advice in the future, Fenrir. Fenrir smiled innocently. Being a thug didn't matter to him. Just give him a bag of potato chips and take him to play. Mingfei looked at Fenrir and remembered his past self. During the campus celebration held at Shilin High School, as long as someone gave him coke or a computer to play with, he would go over and help with the work. Jiangnan looked at the people who were getting along happily and took out his mobile phone. Let's record a video. Short videos will be popular in the future, and I just thought of a very funny joke. Mingfei looked at Jiangnan, who looked like he was going to make trouble and suddenly had a bad feeling. What do you want to do? Jiangnan said with a smile. Remember what I said before. Take money from both sides. Mingfei. Old Tang said in surprise. You are not going to ask Jumunganda for money. I think even she should not have so much money. After all, our Dragon King does not really need money. Jumunganda has lived in human society. Life requires money. But Jumunganda does not save too much money. Because her essence is still the Dragon King. It's okay. It's okay. At most I will ask for less. It is impossible not to have money. It is impossible not to do things. Because the next destination is Japan. There was a man there, and Jiangnan wanted to scatter his ashes. Herzog. Thinking of what was going to happen next, Jiangnan couldn't help laughing. Ha ha ha. Mingfei covered his face. Group leader, you are laughing so evilly. We don't seem to be villains. Fenrir also stretched his head over. Brother, I'm hungry. I want to eat potato chips. I want to eat spicy strips. Jiangnan reached out and stroked Fenrir's majestic forehead. Do a little favor. Let's play a little game, and then I will buy you potato chips and spicy strips, buy you 100 packs, buy you a lot of lollipops, and even take you to see a big movie. Fenrir clapped his hands excitedly, and the sharp dragon claws collided with each other, producing a violent whistle. Chapter 115. The Enraged Jumunganda. Zami, it shouldn't be Jumunganda. She returned to her home, Nibble engine at her subway station number 100. As soon as she arrived at the door of her house, she saw a road that ran through the maze. It was a road that was smashed out. A hole was directly opened in the wall that blocked the road. The train on the railway also overturned to the side. Who on earth is it? Looking at the old chemical field she created, it was turned into this state. Jumunganda was really angry. This is her home, her own nest. Damn little thief. Jumunganda walked along the road to the deepest part of the maze. That was her brother, Fenrir's room. At this time, there was a big hole in this room. Fenrir, who should have been tied up here, had run out. The ground was a mess. It had just rained, and some accumulated water dripped along the cracks. Jumunganda's face became even uglier. She didn't believe that her brother had the ability to escape. Someone must have helped him, and it was very powerful. Jumunganda wanted to find her brother right now, but she was a very smart girl. Anger would make her lose her reason and make the wrong choice. Jumunganda suppressed his anger and took a deep breath. Now is not a good time to look for his brother. A huge crack appeared in Nibelungen that needed to be repaired. This is her old nest and must not be discovered by the hybrids. And because the Dragon King appeared here, there must be many hybrids coming here to investigate. There are many secrets in Nibelungen that are not suitable to be revealed. Jumunganda did not want to go out to find his brother by himself because his home was stolen when he came back. Standing in the maze, Jumunganda's body was covered with sharp scales. His hands and feet turned into the claws of the Dragon King and then began to speak dragon words that could not be described in words. Word spirit, heaven and earth as furnace serial number 96 bloodline origin, king of bronze and fire danger level, medium discoverer and namer. He fashioned the releases melts metal out of thin air and arbitrarily forms it into new forms in the field centered on himself. Science cannot explain how this word spirit works, but a very strong magnetic field can be detected in the field of this word spirit. For the king of bronze and fire himself, this is also a very high level word spirit, and its greatness and astonishment are no less than the more violent yelling. For ordinary releases, this word spirit only smelts a small amount of metal element in a limited field, but in the hands of the Dragon King level releaser, it is equivalent to giving the releaser an unlimited huge furnace. It can be used for large-scale metal smelting, or to purify metal ores in a short period of time. There is no evidence that it can regenerate metal into recycled metal. The name comes from the famous Han Dynasty Fuping Neofu, and the heaven and earth are the furnace, and the creation is the work. Yin and yang are charcoal, and all things are copper. Ancient Chinese alchemists called this word spirit Ruai furnace and Samadhi true fire. The former means that the shape and size of this furnace are arbitrary, and the latter means that the person holding the word spirit uses the spiritual fire to refine items. Jumunganda's low chanting voice enveloped the entire alchemical maze. The cracked exit was gradually blocked, and the entire alchemical maze continued to dance, as if it had come alive. Jumunganda's alchemical domain directly covered the entire alchemical maze. She wanted to reshape this place and reshape the rules here. The alive alchemical maze kept shrinking and expanding like a snake curled together. The sickle weasels hanging in the tunnel flew everywhere. They wanted to avoid the furious queen, to rectify the entire maze. As time passed, the cracks around were repaired, and Nibelungen once again returned to the kingdom of the dead. It's over. Jumunganda stopped releasing the word spirit. She came back in time, and made the right judgment. And this time to reshape the entire Nibelungen, she completely closed the entrance to the maze. No one would come here except herself and her brother Fenrir. Close the door and lock the door. Take away the key and add a smart lock. Jumunganda is going to find his brother. Ding ding ding. At this moment, Jumunganda's mobile phone rang. The user of this mobile phone is her human identity, Xiaomi. The claws on Jumunganda's right hand turned back into human palms. She picked up the mobile phone on the side and turned on the screen. A stranger sent him a video. The cover of the video was her brother Fenrir. Jumunganda's eyes flashed with indifference and anger. Then he clicked on the video. In the video old Tang and Constantine were sitting on the swing and playing happily. Then a voice came. It started. Obviously the person who spoke was the one who filmed the video. After hearing the start, old Tang and Constantine jumped off the swing. Hey, who is this? It can't be Jumunganda. Old Tang said arrogantly while dancing hip hop, and then pointed at the camera. Constantine did the same, but was a little shy. After dancing another extremely awkward hip hop dance, old Tang continued. Guess who was not invited to the Dragon King's party today? Oh, you guessed right. It's you, Jumunganda, you little trash. Then, the two dragons started dancing again, kicking and spinning on the ground. Standing up again, old Tang took a step forward. Hey, this weekend, I'm going to Japan to have a super cool party with cute, beautiful mates. All the Dragon Kings will be there, and even the White King will be resurrected. Oh, and the Black King will also be there. Guess who wants to come but can't? Oh, you guessed it right. It's you, Jumunganda. Old Tang spoke in an extremely arrogant tone and posture, pointing two fingers at the camera, with his legs swinging non-stop. Hurry up and cry in your mother's arms like a little girl. Jumunganda, God will forgive you. At this time, a silly big head came out from behind the two dragon kings. He was chewing potato chips in his mouth, and the little expression on his face was like a kitten eating cat food, enjoying it very much. Jumungand looked at the familiar figure and his pupils shrank. Brother. The video ended here. The video, which was less than 2 minutes long, revealed a lot of information. Japan, the king of bronze and fire, and the king of black and the king of white. How is it possible? How could he be resurrected so quickly? Norton is lying to me. No, he may have been resurrected at this time, but even if he is resurrected, he may not have recovered his peak strength. Jumunganda did not hesitate, and decided to go to Japan. The other party sent such a video of American bullying, which represents the intention of attracting her to Japan. Although I don't know what they want to do, it is very likely not a good thing. If the pure-blooded dragon clan wants to improve their bloodline, they need to devour the pure-blooded dragon clan of the same level. Jumunganda will never allow his brother to be eaten by other dragon kings. Only he can eat his brother. As we all know, Jiangnan Laos likes to change the settings the most. There is a big difference between the original dragon clan and the remastered dragon clan. Change the order of the words, and change the name of the words. For example, the original Wind King's Eye is changed to the Stormhorn. The word Spirit Blood Sucking Sickle is renamed the Blood Drinking Real Sickle. The word Spirit Dust Free Land is renamed the Pure Land of Detachment. In the original Dragon Clan 2nd, Jumunganda really died. But as we all know, readers of Dragon Clan are not good-tempered. When they scold the author, they are all possessed by Zorn people. Every strike is a critical hit, and in the remake, the foreshadowing of Jumunganda's resurrection is buried. Careful readers should have discovered that the pronunciation of the protagonist's name is Jiangnan. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 116, Stage Play. Jormungand took a deep breath. Her dragon-like body gradually returned to human form. Her clothes had long been cut into pieces by the sharp scales. After returning to her human form, the scales on the key parts of her body faded away. On the ancient platform, a lovely girl stood there. Her skin was as white as snow and her figure was perfect, like a work of art made by God. It was a pity that no one appreciated this beautiful scenery. Go to Japan as a human. The identity of a dragon king is not very convenient after all. Jormungand sensed the danger. Compared with other dragon kings, she was still a little weaker after all. Disguised as a little white rabbit, she gave the most fatal blow at the most critical moment. This is the way of a mature hunter. Jormungand is such a mature hunter. Force is not what she is good at. Wisdom can sometimes solve most problems. Smart girls really don't complain about the environment and suffering. At this time, the phone in Jormungand's hand rang again. This time someone called her. The number displayed on the screen was an unknown number. After hesitating for a moment, Jormungand answered the call. As soon as the call was connected, a man's clear voice came from the other side. Hello, Moses. Jumunganda frowned slightly. The voice she recognized was the man who said the beginning of the video. Hello, what do you want to talk to me about? The girl's clear voice sounded lively and enthusiastic. Jumunganda put on a mask because she didn't know what the other party was going to do. She has been playing a girl in human society for many years. Sometimes the mask becomes her real face after wearing it for a long time. To put it bluntly, she is a little schizophrenic. Listening to such a nice voice, Jiangnan couldn't help but become very happy. Should I call you Jumunganda? Or Xiaomi? You should use this identity now. Jumunganda was silent, but then she returned to the happy look of a girl. Oh, what are you talking about? I'm Xiaomi. The girl's tone was a little naughty. Jumunganda's schizophrenia is a disease. He needs to be treated. You are the majestic dragon king. Why do you sound so girlish? What's wrong with you? I don't even know you. You called me for no reason and said I was sick. Jumunganda's tone was full of vigilance, just like a girl receiving a call from a stranger. Maybe she was so into the role that she even fooled herself. Jiang Nan didn't pretend anymore and laughed out loud, a very villainous laugh. Hehe. Jumunganda, your dearest brother Fenrir is in my hands. Don't call the police. Prepare 100,000, 200,000 to bring to Japan quietly, otherwise your brother will die. I'm known as a surgeon who can perform surgery without anesthesia. If you don't pay the ransom, your brother's 2 kidneys will not be saved. Hehe. Jiang Nan laughed and hung up the phone. Fenrir stood beside him with a panicked look on his face. Sister won't be angry if you joke like this. Jiang Nan shook his head with a smile on his face. Don't worry, your sister has a good temper. I was just joking with her. The next second, Jiang Nan's phone rang. It was Jumunganda calling. Look, your sister called. Jiang Nan looked at Fenrir and said. Fenrir curiously stretched his head over. Jiang Nan put his finger on his lips. Remember to be quiet. Then the call was connected. Jumunganda's pleasant voice came from the other end of the phone. You can really get through. The kidnappers on TV can't get through at all. Jiang Nan was a little speechless. The dignified Dragon King was addicted to role-playing. Hehe, Jumunganda, what's wrong with your little girl's attitude? You are the Dragon King who has lived for thousands of years. Your laughter is so evil. You asked her for 200,000 yuan, but she is just an ordinary girl. How can she have so much money? Jumunganda's voice was a little frustrated. It was as if the person on the other end of the phone was really just an ordinary girl. Sure enough, a mask will become a face after being worn for a long time. Alright then. Miss Xiaomi, please allow me to call you that. A grand stage play will begin. The Black King will attend, the White King will attend, and the Dragon Kings will also attend. The top audiences will arrive one by one at the gathering. They will appreciate the sad life of a jumping clown. The clown is the most interesting character in the circus. I believe you will be happy. Are you the head of the circus? I've heard of you. You often kidnap mentally retarded children and train them to be acrobats. You are so bad. The girl's exclamation came from the phone. Jiang Nan just smiled faintly. Maybe. But there are more than one head of this circus. They set up the stage and perform other people's fate as a script on the stage. You should be glad that I'm the kind of circus head who likes to write a beautiful and perfect ending. Hearing you say that, you are still a good person. Jumunganda's voice was crisp and pleasant. The two seemed to be chatting. Jiang Nan continued to speak. I guess so. But Miss Xiaomi, even if you stay at home, you must remember to put on clothes. Be careful of perverts peeping outside the window, and even if there are no perverts, you will catch a cold if you don't wear clothes. Jumunganda's hand holding the phone tightened. She was in a Belingen. There was no so-called window at all, and no one could find this place. And she had just used the powerful word spirit heaven and earth as a furnace to transform the entire Nibelungen, and she was sure that there were absolutely no intruders here. An inexplicable sense of deja vu appeared, as if someone was staring at her. Jumunganda said very aggrievedly, pervert, pervert, woo woo, I'm not clean anymore. Jiang Nan shook his head helplessly. Haha, you're pretending quite well, but the Dragon King of the Earth and Mountains, you don't want your brother to get into trouble, do you? Do you want to? This plot seems to be biased towards the plot in Tokyo, is a little hot. I have to say, Miss Xiaomi, if you participate in the Oscar for Best Actor this year, I will definitely vote for you. Jiang Nan's tone seemed to be mocking. Jumunganda's voice rang again after a few seconds. But this time it became very cold. What do you want to do? Nothing. If you have to say, it's just to change the future of a loser. After all, he is my little brother. And I protect him. Jiang Nan hung up the phone again. This time Jumunganda did not call again. Looking at his phone, Jiang Nan smiled. The next target is Castle College. And those old guys on the board of directors, the family behind them must be very interesting. Chapter 117. Audience. It would be very rude for a grand stage play to have no audience. As a mixed race group throughout the entire Dragon Clan, Castle College is qualified to participate in this grand stage play. Castle College is still holding a meeting. As the most advanced cloud computer, Norma's authority control covers almost the entire world. Although Fenrir only appeared and disappeared in more than a minute, Norma's powerful computing power still calculated some things. For example, the person sitting on Fenrir's head. A blurred photo, after continuous modification and calculation, finally turned into a high-definition image and presented to everyone. It was a young man. He looked about 17 or 18 years old. There was a smile on the corner of the young man's mouth. It can be said that he was a handsome boy, but such a big boy who can be seen everywhere in the school is sitting on the head of the Dragon King. High school student? Chuzaheng said coldly. There was not much fluctuation in his tone. Everyone probably thought so, because this face has the kind of immaturity that only high school students have. It is a student's feeling, youth, and passion. How interesting. A high school student riding on the head of the Dragon King. Caesar smiled, as if he had discovered something interesting. As a noble son of the school and the president of the student union, perhaps only things like slaying dragons and beauties could interest him. Nono sat next to him. A pair of beautiful eyes stared at the picture on the computer. Profiling can't infer too much. Principal Angus looked at his best students and said, "Children, your bloodline is the best in the academy. The awakening of the Dragon King is a warning that they will return again. Now is not that era. This remnant of the old era should not appear in this world." Angus' eyes flashed with crazy light. His anger and hatred for the Dragon King had long been engraved in his heart. Everyone agreed with this decision. They were born for this. Now as a human society, the era of the Black King's rule has long ended. Those kings who want to return, let them all die. At this moment, Norma's figure in front of the computer began to flash continuously, as if the old color TV was stuck when changing channels. Angus looked at the flashing humanoid projection Norma and said, "What happened?" Norma, however, was like a dead machine, motionless on the screen. As the most advanced artificial intelligence, this was impossible for her. No one could stop Norma from working so quietly. You have to know that this most advanced cloud computer has set up several powerful firewalls. Even the world's top hacker alliance needs several days to break through Norma's outermost firewall. And that's when Norma doesn't fight back. "Norma?" Angus called again. If the cloud computer of Castle College is breached, then the secrets hidden in Castle College will be exposed like a beautiful woman stripped naked. The next moment Angus was ready to start the more powerful computer ever. As a college where the secret party trains dragon slayers, Castle College has countless secrets, and such secrets must not be taken away. "Hello." A boy's faint voice suddenly came from the computer. Norma's flashing body returned to normal. "Principal Ange, someone has bypassed the firewall and hacked into my computer and directly hijacked my host. He has stolen my highest authority and is now talking to you. This is not good news." Ange's face turned a little ugly. A video window opened on the computer screen. A boy appeared. The boy looked 8 points similar to the one in the photo. It was him who greeted everyone just now. "Hello, you half-bloods from Castle Academy." It was Xiao Yan who invaded Castle Academy. The outstanding students of Castle looked at the figure that appeared on their screens, and their expressions were different. Some found it interesting, while others frowned. "It's interesting that you can bypass Norma." Caesar leaned back in his chair, with a smile on his face. "Who are you?" Ange's golden eyes burning with flame stared at Xiao Yan on the screen. "Oh, it's Principal Ange. I heard you're a bit of a show-off, and now I see you're really a show-off. This handsome suit, mixed with cologne that smells like leftovers. Oh my god, Mariah. A 100-year-old man can be so showy. A young girl who has just entered society can't stand the charm of an old man." Ha ha ha. The vice principal laughed crazily. His apprentice finger sat next to him with an embarrassed look on his face. Others wanted to laugh, but didn't dare to. "It's so interesting. Someone actually said that about Principal Ange. I really agree. It's exactly what I thought." The vice principal slapped the table, obviously very happy. "Oh, is this the vice principal night watchman? I heard he's so awesome, with abilities that are no less than Principal Ange. Slaying a dragon is a piece of cake, but he doesn't have the idea of slaying a dragon. He does nothing but go to the forum all day, pretending to be a cowboy, hiding in his little room looking at pornographic posters all day, and being drunk all day. It's really like that now I see him. He's just a drunkard." Jiang Nan's words were merciless, but at the same time, they also showed his absolute understanding of the vice principal and the principal. The vice principal's smile was a little stiff. Almost no one knew these secrets except the principal. Of course, there was one person. That was his former proud disciple, Finger. Finger covered his mouth and tried not to laugh, otherwise his teacher would beat him. Oh, let me see who else is here. What is this? Jiangnan made a surprised look on the computer screen and then looked to the right. From the perspective of the computer screen, the right side is his photo. This is a photo that Norma has taken after cloud computing and repair. The photo is definitely different from the person himself. It can only be said that it is very similar. This photo can't be me. Damn it, why don't you turn on the beauty filter? Don't you know that not turning on the beauty filter is a very rude behavior now? It's like a woman going out without makeup. Jiangnan said very angrily, but his tone was full of teasing, no matter how he listened. Oh, dear Miss Norma, can you Photoshop me? You know, a handsome man's face is the best gift to attract beautiful women. If someone uses this photo of mine to date online, I think I can only give it a 7. Jiangnan's narcissistic words broke the first impression of him by the people present. The big boy sitting on the head of the Dragon King often gives people the first impression of being mysterious. But when the mysterious veil is lifted, it is found that he is just a funny guy. Chapter 118, Harsh Words. Norma was as gentle as usual. Yes, sir, no problem, sir. Then Norma turned on the beauty filter, with fair skin, thin face, big eyes. Jiangnan's photo instantly changed from a handsome boy to a super handsome guy. He was so beautiful that he didn't even look like a normal human. Oh, my dear Miss Norma. You are better than I thought. If I take this photo to go online for dating, I believe most beauties can't refuse me. Angus took a deep breath and lit a cigarette for himself. Smoking is very rude at such an important meeting, but who makes him the principal? The head of the equipment department next to him was wearing a biochemical protective suit and looked at Principal Angus with disgust. It was as if he was looking at some disgusting microorganisms. Maybe it was more disgusting than microorganisms. You seem to be very familiar with us. Angus spoke, but this time his tone was not so cold. Of course, after all, you are the audience I really want to invite, just like gourmets want to invite the most outstanding food critics. A beautiful and excellent work, if there is no professional to evaluate it, then it is no different from a pile of dog shit. Jiangnan said it with great pride. Interesting. Caesar said lightly. Chusehan was still so indifferent, but his eyes were full of vigilance. Then I must appreciate the work you mentioned, but my vision is very high. Angus smiled at some point, as if he really wanted to appreciate a beautiful work. Of course, of course. After all, the clown's wonderful life is so ups and downs, and the most funny thing is that the arrogant White King was taken away by the clown and the throne was usurped by the clown. Angus seemed to have heard something incredible. Others thought so too. According to the records of the hybrids, the White King had died long ago and was dealt with by the Black King. White King, are you kidding? In the history of dragons, the White King was executed by the Black King a long time ago. Angus said lightly, with doubt. Yes, the White King died, but his bones were left. Gods will not die, at least when they don't want to die, they will not die. When the holy bones and holy blood merge together, the gods sleeping in the burial ground of the gods will wake up. He is the Black King's trial product and sits on the same throne with the Black King. Jiangnan's tone became solemn, as if he was telling an ancient epic. But this epic is not a good thing for the hybrids. I don't think you kidnapped Norma and broke into our meeting to tell a myth without evidence. Angus became serious. The Dragon King wakes up. The White King is resurrected. So what about the Black King? Angus thought more than everyone else. Once the Dragon Kings wake up one after another, the current stable society will usher in war, and it will be a full-scale war, a war between humans and dragons. Although there are nuclear bombs now, this thing is too powerful. It can't be used whenever you want. Jiangnan had a mysterious smile on his face. I haven't introduced myself formally yet. My name is Jiangnan, which is pronounced similar to Jiangnan, a city in China, but the Jiang in my surname is the Jiang of Mengjiangnu. Please don't make a mistake. I'm an immortal. Of course, I can also be a god to you. After all, when the distance between people becomes far enough, they are between people and gods, just like the ancients believed in the Dragon King. They thought that the Dragon King with incredible words was a god, but in fact, these things can be done by science now. This explosive speech was recognized by the equipment department. Yes, that's right. Now is the age of science. No creature is killed by bombs. The all-chemical bomb I invented recently has enough explosive power to destroy a small town. I think we should find a Dragon King to try it out, but this bomb cannot be detonated remotely, so we can send a specialist. The head of the equipment department spoke very arrogantly. Obviously, this group of bomb maniacs has developed some weird stuff again. However, the response to the head of the equipment department was one word. Get lost. Angus said with a very unfriendly face. Angus really didn't have a good face for the equipment department of his school. This group of technical geeks are really good at researching equipment, but each of these good equipment is a bomb, and they are all weird bombs. You told us so many things just like that. Aren't you afraid that we won't be your audience? Angus' tone was a little unfriendly. This was a test. As the top dragon slayer, he didn't want to be led by the nose. The same was true for other students. Being led by the nose is a very unpleasant thing. Jiangnan looked at the faces of the people through the video and was very sad. Oh, so sad. If my work has no audience, I will have a headache. Of course, if the audience says something heartless, I will have a headache even more. Just like the author with the same name as me, who was hit by his readers one by one, and even his underwear was almost pulled out. Jiangnan covered his eyes with his hands, looking like he was crying. It was too fake and even a little hypocritical. Hey, brother, your acting is not very good. Finger complained at this time. Jiangnan was even more sad, and then he put his hand down. But when he was able to put his hand down, a smile appeared on that fake crying face. An evil smile. In order to prevent my fragile heart from being hit by a knife, I will deal with you at the source. If you don't come, then I will let the King of Bronze and Fire Constantine run to the top of your castle academy to set off firecrackers. The name of this firecracker must be very familiar to you. It is called Zilong. What the hell? The vice principal was a little impatient. The faces of other students also became a little ugly. The word Spirit Zilong appeared in Beatty City in recorded history. The result was that a city was directly destroyed. The release range is very wide. Thousands of degrees of high temperature, constantly expanding and spreading outward. The entire Beatty City turned into scorched earth. If the Zilong was released over Castle Academy, they would not even have a chance to run. Within the range, covered by the word spirit domain, no creature can survive under thousands of degrees of high temperature. Angel's eyes were filled with anger. He thought of his friends. He and his like-minded friends formed the first generation of the Lionheart Society. However, the result was that the Dragon King attacked them. He was the only one who survived. He carried the lives of his friends and the hatred for the Dragon King. These were all that remained of his life. Has the Bronze and Fire King awakened as well? However, at this time, Jiangnan ran out of the range of the video conversation. Only Jiangnan's vague words could be heard. Constantine, come here, come and say something harsh. Chapter 119. It's hard to refuse such kindness. Constantine. The twins of the King of Bronze and the King of Fire. At this time, Angus already knew the secret of the king, and he was ready to pull Mingfei into the group. So he understood what this name meant. On the other side, Constantine hid behind Liao Tang, a little scared. In fact, he has always been a little afraid of Jiangnan. Whenever Jiangnan was present, he would hide behind his brother. You know, a big sinus can cause great harm to a child, especially in the mind. Hey, Constantine, where do you want to run? Liao Tang stood in front of Constantine with a smile on his face. He raised his hands and put them on his chest and said, "Boss, calm down. My brother is a little shy, so don't let him do this kind of photogenic thing, and it's not domineering to let a child say harsh words. It's better to let Fenrir do it. After all, he is now in the state of a dragon, and he is definitely more useful than Constantine." Fenrir was eating spicy strips happily. He looked silly. Looking at the Dragon King like this, everyone was a little silent. If he didn't say anything and just stood there, he would still be very majestic. Jiangnan hesitated for a moment. Constantine's harsh words might not really achieve the effect he wanted. But Fenrir is just a 3-year-old child. His IQ is worrying. However, there should be no problem with education. The majestic Dragon King and the shy child, Xiao Yan, quickly made a decision. Fenrir, stop eating. I'll buy you a lollipop later. Come, raw here. Xiao Yan walked over and raised his phone. Fenrir roared in confusion. A terrifying dragon power was transmitted along the video. Castle conference room. The video call started moving after a tremor and various vague noises. A majestic Dragon King appeared. The blue-black dragon scales glowed faintly, and the terrifying majesty was inviolable. This is a more beautiful existence than any life. The blood in the hybrid is restless. This is a call from the king himself. Chuzahung's pair of golden eyes that never go out seemed to become even hotter. However, they did not notice that there were oil stains left by spicy strips at the corners of the Dragon King's mouth. Compared with the majestic Dragon King, the oil stains left by these spicy strips were too inconspicuous. Xiao Yan, who was filming with his mobile phone, was very skilled and did not take pictures of the spicy strips and potato chips in Fenrir's hand. If the camera was moved down a little bit, the interesting side of the Dragon King could be captured. Then the Dragon King roared. It was like the ancient emperor was furious. When the emperor was angry, thousands of corpses were buried. The terrifying dragon power weighed on everyone's heart. Their hearts were beating wildly, and their blood flowed faster. If their bloodline was not good enough, they would have fainted directly, even if it was just a video conversation. Anja's face was gloomy, and the folding knife in his hand kept turning. The picture turned again, and the Dragon King disappeared. Xiao Yan was afraid that, if he continued to film, he would be exposed. Sure enough, the next second, Fenrir picked up the potato chips and tasted them. Delicious. He looked like a cat. It was hard to imagine that the majestic Dragon King had such an enjoyable expression on his face. How is it? Have you seen my little brother? When the time comes, I will let Fenrir dance on your graves and do the Shiva Karma dance. I will scatter your ashes. There will not be the situation of the first generation of the Lionheart Society 100 years ago. There are still people alive, and that idiot Dragon King doesn't know how to finish off the enemy. Xiao Yan had a smug smile on his face, and the incident 100 years ago was the most painful secret in Anja's heart. Who are you? Are you the Black King? Anj asked this question. Ha ha ha. This question caused Xiao Yan to laugh crazily. Please, I said before that I'm an immortal. Have you read immortal novels? The immortals in the novels live as long as the heaven and earth, compete with all things, hold the sun and the moon in their hands, and pick the stars. There is no one like me in the world. It turns out that the world limits a person's knowledge. Secondary disease. At this time, such a word appeared in everyone's mind. How could there be immortals in the world? They are all fake. Those myths and legends were actually left by dragons, but they were passed down from generation to generation by word of mouth and finally became myths and legends. This is the so-called human-to-human transmission phenomenon. Angus pondered for a moment and spoke. Are you mentally ill? Xiao Yan. After being speechless for a moment, Xiao Yan spoke. You are the one who is ill. Your whole family is ill. It seems that you are indeed ill, being tortured crazily by the blood sorrow. It can be said that all half-bloods are crazy and mentally retarded, but I'm not like you. Chuzahung stared at the screen with cold eyes. You are right, most half-bloods are crazy. Xiao Yan took a deep breath. Okay. Although it is very fun to chat with you, I still need to go and rob the thieves. After all, I kidnapped a Dragon King. It would be too boring if I don't make good use of it. Anyway, as an audience, you must come. Of course, if you think it is fun, you can also participate in this stage play. After all, as an audience, you can also become an actor, and your identity is free. Caesar seemed to find it quite interesting. So he said with a proud smile, the actor and the audience can switch identities at will. It's a very interesting idea. It reminds me of a concert. If it were me, I believe the whole stage play would become my one-man show. He was very proud and arrogant. Xiao Yan looked at the high-spirited Caesar, then turned around and looked at a place that the video couldn't capture. A certain loser was eating spicy noodles and potato chips with Fenrir and watching a boring movie. Then Xiao Yan sighed and looked at the handsome blonde man in the video interface. He was proud, confident, arrogant, powerful, and excellent. A complete tool, rich, handsome and loser. There was simply no comparison. Oh, crazy nobleman. Although you are incomparably better than a certain loser, you can be said to be born to be the protagonist of this world, with a lively and cheerful wife, an unparalleled family background, a confident and heroic character, and your most excellent bloodline. I have to say that you are simply excellent beyond belief. It's a pity that the protagonist this time is not you, because this is a clown show. Clown, is it a circus performance? In this case, I will be an honest audience. Of course, if I think your acrobatics are good, I'm willing to perform on stage. Caesar said casually. If it were him, he would really do it, because he would be happy to do anything that would bring shame to the family. Chuzaheng seemed to be thinking about it. But even after talking for such a long time, the most important thing was not mentioned, that is, the location. A stage play should always have a background. Where is the time and place? Chuzaheng spoke. Jiangnan slapped his head fiercely. Damn it, chatting with you guys is so fun that I forgot to mention the most important thing. The background of this stage play is in the place that otakus dream of. There are countless maids, fun games, and uncensored anime broadcasted in late night theaters. I think you have guessed it. As for the time being, it won't be too long. It depends on when I finish touring all of Akihabara. Chapter 120, Clown. The Japanese branch of Dragon World is not under the jurisdiction of the headquarters. Moreover, most of the specialists sent by the headquarters to the branch will be tortured by the people in the branch. In the eyes of the headquarters, the Japanese branch seems to be shrouded in a layer of black fog. Except for the regular reports that everything is normal, there is nothing. Norma's authority management cannot reach Japan because Japan has its own cloud computer Kaguya. Jiangnan seemed to think of something interesting and continued to speak. That group of little Japanese, those guys who have a good life are an interesting group, and what makes people feel more interesting is that the clown actually controls everything. Whether it is the final boss or the protagonist group, their boss is actually the clown. This clown is addicted to role-playing. But compared to the clown's role-playing, I appreciate his despair of falling from the highest mountain. Anyway, let's go to Japan. I hide all the secrets there. Are you the Pirate King? Nono said. Jiangnan thought for a while and said with a smile. One Piece is not bad. The news he brought unveiled a corner of the mysterious Veil of Japan. This country is a country where the underworld is legalized. Every half-blood in the Japanese branch has a dual identity, a gangster and a commissioner. Right. Jiangnan clapped his hands and said excitedly, I hope these audiences must come. Chuzaheng, Caesar, Nono, Angus and Fingo. You are the audiences I look forward to the most. Finger, who was eating melon, was confused. How did he eat melon on his head? He was almost demoted to F level. A complete waste of the school. He was held back for several years. He was just a news paparazzi, and he didn't want the task of killing the Dragon King. What are you looking at? It's you Finger. You dead paparazzi must come. I have prepared the best audience seat for you. Brother, can I not go? Finger raised his hand tremblingly. Sure. Then you should prepare for the Dragon King to dance on your head. Jiangnan had a playful smile on his face. The vice president stretched out his hand at this time and mentioned his most proud student. Go if I ask you to go. Why are you so cowardly? When you die, I will give you a luxurious funeral. Finkel felt very aggrieved. Our call ends here. Remember to come to Tokyo. It must be interesting to watch a city flying up to the sky from a close distance. Jiangnan hung up the call directly after he finished speaking. The meeting fell into silence. Norma's voice rang at this time. The other party has disappeared. I activated the most advanced exploration technology, but still couldn't find any traces of the other party. Angus waved his hand. I understand. It seems that I have to go to the Japanese branch. The secrets they hide have attracted incredible things. Jiangnan hung up the call. The audience has been invited, so the next step is financial support. I will find someone to sponsor it and get some sponsorship fees. As long as you don't die, do it to death. Jiangnan quickly made another call. The owner of this phone is the Dragon King of Sky and Wind. In the restart of the Dragon King world, his identity was revealed. Odin is the king of sky and wind who has not appeared. In the restarted world, Chusehan went to the Arctic Ocean not to find Odin's figure. Instead, he was looking for the Black King Nidhogg. The Black King Nidhogg is a planetary life form bred by the Earth. The reason why he cannot be killed is that when a Black King dies, the Earth will give birth to a new one. Odin is the king of sky and wind. He ate Fenrir, the king of earth and mountain, and the fake white king Herzog to obtain their abilities. He also changed the restriction that the four monarchs could not breed pure-blooded offspring through alchemy and modern technology, and established his own family. In the restart of the dragon world, the plan to go to the Arctic Ocean to find the gate of the kingdom of God was planned by him, luring a large number of mixed bloods and offering them as sacrifices to the Black King. Wake up the Black King and take the opportunity to kill the Black King. At the same time, his family is also declaring war on many mixed blood families including Castle College, which can even be said to be a unilateral massacre. The family of the King of Sky and Wind is the Gattuso family, and the real identity of the King of Sky and Wind is Pompei Gattuso, Caesar's father. Super Stallion. Of course, when he usually acts as the King of Sky and Wind, his name is Macallan. Think about his proudest son Caesar. A second generation species, but the result is a sickle weasel that has no attack ability. It's very funny. The reason why Herzog is called a clown is that his whole life has been controlled by the King of Sky and Wind. He is just a little white mouse controlled by the King of Sky and Wind. It is used to experiment and create the power to usurp the king. The White King is the closest existence to the Black King. If you can usurp the power of the White King, then you can usurp the power of the Black King. Herzog, who knows nothing, is still complacent and thinks he is very awesome. If it weren't for his usefulness as a clown, he would have been abandoned by the Dragon King of Sky and Wind. The call was quickly connected. It was daytime in the east, but night in the west. What can a super big stallion do at night? A woman's pleasant voice came from the other end of the phone. Jiangnan. After Mingfei built his foundation, his five senses were also strengthened. So he pricked up his ears and listened quietly. Who is it? Don't you know that it is very rude to disturb others at this time? A man's lazy voice came from the phone. This man is Pompei Gattuso, the current head of the Gattuso family. Controls the important economic lifeline of the world. Sorry, Mr. Gattuso, I disturb you at this time. I hope I won't make you impotent from now on. However, I didn't expect your taste to be heavier than that of Sanjay. Sanjay's family is a nation that is super free in love. They often like to have cross-race love, so it is understandable to fall in love with lizards, hens, and motorcycles, but the dragon race is a majestic race. Does your dignity allow you to have cross-race love? This sarcastic tone made Pompei Gattuso a little angry. No one dared to speak to the head of the Gattuso family like this for a long time. You guy, do you know who I am? You are so arrogant. Believe it or not, I will kill you now. Pompei Gattuso's voice was very casual. Whether it was the identity of the King of Sky and Wind or the identity of the head of the Gattuso family, these two identities were enough for him to say such words. If it was just an ordinary person, he would really be killed by him. Well, you want to kill me. Do you know that your casual words may make me unhappy and then cause me to kill you in return, Mr. Macallan, the Dragon King of the Sky and Wind, or Mr. Pompei Gattuso, the head of the Gattuso family? Is it okay for me to call you that? Jiangnan's tone was a little cold. He hated others pretending to be powerful in front of him the most. As for threats, how could the gods care about the threats of four-legged reptiles? Chapter 121. The gods don't want to pay but want. The 1,000-year-old Dragon King. The worldview of dragons is completely different from that of humans. The Dragon King, who has lived for thousands of years, looks at humans as if he is looking at hairless monkeys. It is impossible for a human to fall in love with a monkey, except for the third brother, of course. So for Pompei Gattuso, he will never fall in love with a pure-blooded human. If it were not for usurping the power of the Black King, how could he do such a thing? This is exactly what Jiangnan mocked. Humans fell in love with monkeys. Who are you? Although Pompei Gattuso's voice was still so lazy, his tone was full of vigilance and hostility. Who am I? The group of old men on the board of directors should have told you. After all, such a big thing happened. I believe they will tell you about this, even if they disturb your trip. Jiang Nan said. Pompey Gattuso remembered the message that the old man of the family gave him a few minutes ago. Jiang Nan. It seems that you have received the message, so let's talk business. The king of Earth and Mountain is in my hands. Anyway, you have always wanted to get his power. Why don't we make a deal? And the White King, your little white mouse, makes me very annoyed, so I decided to kill him. I hope you don't get angry. Of course, there is nothing you can do if you get angry, because I may also kill you. Jiang Nan's tone was calm but full of confidence. Now he will not touch the Dragon King of Sky and Wind for the time being, because his current target is Herzog, the old war lamp. You have to eat one bite at a time and kill the enemies one by one. You have to do things one by one. Jiang Nan has a lot of time, so much that it can be said to be close to infinite. So he can waste some time. But if the King of Sky and Wind is looking for death, Jiang Nan doesn't mind doing him a small favor. Part 1 The King of Bronze and Fire, Part 2 The King of Earth and Mountain, Part 3 The White King, Part 4 Odin. The King of Sky and Wind is ranked behind the White King. Jiang Nan is not in a hurry at all. Interesting, your existence makes me feel wrong, but you do exist, as if something from another world has broken into my world, and everything seems out of place. Pompey Gattuso lit a cigarette for himself. He had already thrown the woman on the bed out the door. After all, no matter how beautiful a woman is, she is just a reproductive tool for him. The following conversation is not suitable for humans to hear. Who knows? But what about my proposal just now? Jiang Nan did not deny it, but he did not admit it either. Just like a riddle man. From what you said, it seems that you want to sell the King of the Earth and a mountain to me. Pompey Gattuso poured himself another glass of red wine. Elegant and polite. As if this big thing is still under control for him. That's what you said, but I don't want to pay for the goods, but I want them. What do you say? Jiang Nan said very seriously, like a gangster boss. Pompey Gattuso's hand holding the wine glass trembled slightly. Then why are you calling me? Are you here to mock me? Of course not. The goods have been tied up, and we must find a way to export them. But I want to collect money from both ends, and I want to cheat the cheaters. So although I don't want to give you the goods, I still want to trade with you. Jiang Nan's meaning is very simple, freeloading. I want to freeload you. The Gattuso family has a lot of money, but they will be very angry if they are freeloaded. Pompey Gattuso seems to have never seen such a shameless person, and he also said this matter so confidently. Then how much do you want? 500 million. Jiang Nan paused and continued. US dollars or euros? By the way, I'm going to Japan soon. Remember to convert the money into yen, otherwise it will be inconvenient to spend it at that time. You are freeloading, and I have to negotiate conditions. It's too much. Although Pompey's tone was a little angry, there was a calm smile on the corner of his mouth. The message that the group of old guys conveyed to him was that this man was very dangerous. The King of Bronze and Fire also surrendered to this man. Mystery is sometimes a protective film, especially for the murderer behind the scenes. He will never take action in the unknown situation, because this may lead to his death. However, if Jiang Nan goes to Japan, there will still be some operations. The murderer behind the scenes will not end. He can kill the enemy by controlling his own mice. And as luck would have it, Japan is his testing ground, where there are many mice. Thinking of this, Pompey agreed. Herzog has many air-level Deadpools, which are the most powerful and terrifying killers. These Deadpools are very suitable for testing intelligence. If Jiang Nan is strong enough, the 500 million will be regarded as making friends. If weak, then you have to spit it out after eating it. After weighing the pros and cons, agreeing is the best result. But although I think so, but it is impossible to agree so easily. By the way, can I refuse? Then you won't give it. Jiang Nan's tone was a little unkind. Of course, but you have to at least give me a card number. No, I'll just take it. As soon as Jiang Nan finished speaking, Pompey's phone vibrated. There was a text message on it. Someone used his name to transfer 500 million US dollars from the family. The 500 million US dollars disappeared. Pompey's mouth twitched a little. You are robbing, do you know that? Then have you ever seen someone call you before the robbery? Come on, we are doing a deal, but I just took advantage of you. Anyway, just continue to enjoy your sewing trip. King of Sky and Wind, if you have time, I suggest you go to India. I think love there will be very free, and you can be tolerant of your cross-racial love. Jiang Nan hung up the phone. The call ended. Looking at the prompt on the phone, that 500 million yuan had arrived. Jiang Nan nodded with satisfaction. Then he put down the phone and looked at his group. The three-headed Dragon King, a nanny, a loser, and an immortal. Almost everyone is here. The next goal is to travel to Japan. But Fenrir's body is too big. It's not easy to get past him. And such a big body is very likely to attract attacks from hybrids. Jiang Nan doesn't want to die before he succeeds. His main purpose of going to Japan this time is to enjoy himself first. If the war starts right after entering Japan, Jiang Nan will be very unhappy. It seems that we have to find a way to make Fenrir smaller, or turn him into a human. This should be a good thing for him. Spicy strips and potato chips are delicious. For ordinary people, a bag of snacks can be equivalent to half a meal. But for a 50-meter dragon, it is too little, not even enough to fill the gaps between teeth. If it becomes smaller, it means that there will be more snacks. Fenrir, this little guy, will definitely be very happy. Jiang Nan came to Fenrir. Do you want to eat more snacks? Do you want to fill your entire mouth with snacks? Fenrir was stunned for a moment, and then nodded vigorously. That's good. Then Jiang Nan gently touched Fenrir's forehead with his finger. The scales on Fenrir's body began to slowly shrink towards his body. His body gradually began to shrink. His bones shrank, and his organs transformed. In less than a minute, Fenrir changed from a giant dragon into a boy of about 7 or 8 years old. The boy was naked, with confusion and innocence in his eyes. He was very cute, with wheat-colored skin, and he didn't feel shy, even though he was naked. Chapter 122, Storm is Coming. Japanese Customs. Just got off the plane. Looking at the crowded crowd, Mingfei was very happy. Oh, great, I'm here in Akihabara. After saying that, Mingfei took out the 100 commonly used Japanese sentences he had prepared before. Mingfei's Japanese was very poor from learning anime, so he needed this thing. Japan, I've wanted to come for a long time. I'm going to have fun today. Old Tang said excitedly with his hands raised. Seeing his brother so happy, Constantine also smiled. With your poor Japanese, I feel like you can't even communicate normally. Jiang Nan took Fenrir and walked in the crowded crowd. The airport was crowded with people, so it's best to keep an eye on your children, otherwise they can easily get lost. Fenrir was wearing cute children's clothes at this time, holding Jiang Nan's hand with his right hand and holding spicy strips in his left hand. After becoming a human, he enjoyed the feeling of his mouth being completely filled with snacks. He had never experienced that feeling before. Fenrir was very happy. After seeing the colorful world outside, he didn't want to go back to his maze. Chiudmei followed the crowd with a heavy suitcase. You bastards, help me with my luggage. Mingfei smiled embarrassedly and went over to help. In fact, everyone didn't bring much stuff, just a few simple clothes and daily toiletries. Thank you for your hard work, Miss Nanny. Jiang Nan patted Chiudmei's shoulder. By the way, Miss Nanny, have you booked the hotel room? Chiudmei couldn't help but said, you hateful black-hearted boss, you are going to squeeze your employees to death. Everyone left the airport in a playful manner. It was as if they were really here for a trip. As soon as they left the airport, a few rats followed them. Jiang Nan never thought about hiding himself, but it would be a headache if he was found so quickly. This country is full of gangs or societies, street thugs, street dancers, and inconspicuous children. These people may be spies of the gangs. Oh my. It would be boring if we were targeted by rats before we even start playing. Whether it was the 8 snakes or the fierce ghosts, they had already received the news. News about Jiang Nan. After all, a boy riding a Dragon King, no matter how hard he tried to hide his whereabouts, could not stop the prying of the hybrids. Chiudmei also felt the gazes of the people around her. They were sharks that came here smelling blood. What should we do? Most of the facilities or entertainment and hotels in this country are controlled by the underworld. If we stay in a hotel, we might be bombed in the middle of the night. Jiang Nan touched his chin. Bombs can't hurt him, but if he is disturbed in the middle of the night, it would be a very annoying thing. You know, some people like to kill people in their dreams like Ko Gong. If Xiao Yan accidentally exploded, it is estimated that the whole planet will go up to the sky. There are indeed some problems. I can't let go when someone is staring at me. Miss May, do you have any solution? Chiud May shook her head. She is from this country. Of course she knows the power of the 8 snakes and the fierce ghosts in this country. It is impossible to hide. Everything related to play is related to the underworld. Kabuki, entertainment shops, amusement parks, hotels, restaurants. It can be said that everything related to money is inseparable from the underworld. It seems that I still need to take action. The light appeared in Xiao Yan's hand and then entered the bodies of everyone. Chiudme looked at the flash of light in front of her eyes and asked in surprise, "What is this? Word spirit?" It is a spell that interferes with cognition. I have used it on Mingfei before. This spell has a very interesting characteristic, which is that it makes it impossible for others to recognize us. Even if it is a familiar person, as long as this spell is used, it will become a stranger. Jiangnan began to explain. Chiudme turned her head to look at the others, but the effect that Jiangnan said did not appear. She still knew them. Is there really such a powerful thing? But why can I still recognize you? Chiudme's tone was full of doubt and confusion. Jiangnan continued to explain. Please, magic is not such an inconvenient thing. This kind of magic is idealistic. As long as you agree with the other party in your heart, then this little magic will not interfere with the other party's cognition. If you don't agree with the other party, then this magic will work and isolate the cognition between you. This is the magic of the world of cultivation. A very convenient thing. And it is also idealistic. Whatever you want, it will be. Just like Mingfei's previous situation. Mingfei recognized Liu Tang, so there was no interference between them, and it was still the same as usual. If Mingfei met his uncle and aunt here, in his heart he didn't want to recognize his uncle and aunt, then this spell would work and interfere with his uncle and aunt's cognition. He is still Mingfei, but in the cognition of his uncle and aunt, he is just a stranger. Sure enough, as the spell that interfered with cognition took effect, the surrounding sight gradually decreased. The gangsters who monitored the airport even had amnesia. Who am I? What do I want to do? Just like this, everyone left in a swagger. On the other side, both the fierce ghosts and the 8 snake families received the latest reports from their subordinates. Jiangnan came with the Dragon King, but he disappeared before leaving the airport and could not be found. Even Kaguya was dispatched, and all surveillance was mobilized, but no trace of Jiangnan and his group could be found. Things beyond control are a headache for the underworld. After all, that is the Dragon King. And this country is just an island country, a small island. If it suffers a huge blow, this island country is likely to sink to the bottom of the sea, just like Atlantis once did. The underworld snake family. As the underworld family that controls this country, they have countless money and power. Yuan Zixing, the head of the Yuan family of the 8 snake families, looked at the report from his subordinates and fell into deep thought. It's not a good thing that he disappeared. A potential Dragon King is very dangerous. Yuan Zixing frowned. There was a serious look on his thin face at the moment. The storm is coming. Tachibana Masamune of the Tachibana family of the 8 snake families, the current head of the family, is also a clone of Herzog. At this time, he thought of many things, including the plan he was going to execute. Zixing, you are the country's Amaterasu, the sun. Don't panic. What can the Dragon King do? Don't forget that the war between humans and Dragon Kings has existed since ancient times. But Dad is coming this time. There may be more than one Dragon King, and I heard that Principal Ange of the headquarters will also come to Japan. Ange's arrival is not a good thing for the mixed bloods in Japan, because this man once conquered all the mixed bloods in this country. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 123, Entertainment. No matter how tense the relationship is, it can't affect a heart of fun. Tokyo Luxury Hotel. The facilities here are all available. To book a hotel here, you need not only money, but also connections. Only some bigwigs can live in such a high-end place. Ordinary people don't even have the right to enter. At this time, in the luxurious presidential suite, Mingfei was sitting on the ground. The floor of this room was covered with fine carpets. Sitting on it was like sitting on a soft sofa. And it is also popular to sit on the ground in this country. Ordinary people's homes are generally covered with tatami. They usually sleep on the floor. Just a Chun-Li, look, I KO you, oil consuming. Mingfei's fingers pressed quickly on the handle. His game skills are extremely high. Now that his physical fitness and reaction ability have improved, his game skills have been close to the top players. And his opponent Chun-Li is not weak either, at least a professional level player. The two of them fought back and forth, and had a lot of fun. In the end, Mingfei was better and KO'd his opponent Chun-Li. Yes, done. The little noob still wants to challenge me. Practice for another 10 years. The game console equipped in the luxurious presidential suite is the top game console in the world. It has the fastest network speed and the fastest response. For a game geek, if he has such a game console, he can stay at home all his life. On the 50-inch Super LCD screen, a notification of another challenge from the player appeared. Does this little noob like to be abused? Mingfei clicked to agree without hesitation. The game started again. For Mingfei, he was already very satisfied with this kind of life. He stayed at home playing games and eating snacks every day. Jiangnan sat on the leather sofa next to him, with brewed tea on the table in front of him. Chiudmei stood next to him in a cute blue and white maid outfit. Boss, the tea is ready. Chiudmei had a gentle smile on her face. Just like a professional maid. Jiangnan nodded. Yoshi, you are so good at work. Chiudmei's mouth twitched a little. If she couldn't beat her boss, she would never agree to such a perverted request from her boss. She was asked to roleplay and cosplay as a cute maid. She refused at first, but she had already signed a tyrannical contract. Article 3 of the Employee Code of Conduct for black-hearted bosses is to obey the boss instructions and orders unconditionally and not to perfunctorily do so. Jiangnan elegantly picked up the white porcelain teacup. The black tea inside was crystal clear. He took a sip. Yoshi, you are a good citizen. Jiangnan put down the teacup elegantly again. Chiudmei still had a smile on her face. Then he refilled the tea without leaving a trace. Maids are very attractive in this country. Maid cafes, maid salespersons, maid omelette rice. In a sense, maids satisfy men's fantasies and XP. Nanny sounds like a name for an aunt. The cute maid girl is facing the young and beautiful Chiudmei. And this is Japan. Jiangnan thinks it is better to adapt to the local customs. He directly changed the nanny to a maid. And he also has to adapt to the local customs. Old Tang, Constantine and Fenrir were watching TV series. The three Dragon Kings were all born in China, so they wanted to watch Chinese TV series more than Japanese TV series. The TV in the presidential suite can search all the radio stations in the world. Of course, if you want to watch something, you can also search it online. At this time, Armor Hero was playing on a big screen like a movie theater. The three Dragon Kings watched it with relish, especially Fenrir, who really liked it. As expected, even children can't resist the charm of Armor Hero. He no longer has to go back to the maze to watch a boring movie several times. He can watch whatever he wants now. At this time, the big screen of the movie was playing the charging tiger warrior eating a turtle. Although in the setting, the Earth Armor Tiger Warrior is the strongest and jumps the highest, but his performance in the play is too ordinary. But even so, Fenrir thinks that the Tiger Warrior is very powerful. Jiangnan looked at the happy Fenrir and suddenly an idea flashed in his mind. What would it look like if the 5-element armor really appeared in reality? Bronze and the King of Fire correspond to the Flame Dragon armor. The King of Earth and Mountains corresponds to the Earth Tiger armor. The King of Sky and Wind corresponds to the Wind Eagle armor. The King of Ocean and Water corresponds to the Black Rhino armor. The Snow Mastiff armor corresponds to the White King. As the boss of all armors, the Emperor armor, the corresponding one is the Black King, the boss of the Dragon Clan. Although I think it is very interesting. But there are also enemies among the Dragon Kings. However, this does not affect what Jiangnan is going to do next. Fenrir watched the battle between the Earth Tiger Armor and the Super Beast on TV intently. As the battle of the Earth Tiger Warrior reached its climax, his heart was also lifted. It seemed to bring himself into the world of Armor Warrior. The TV series ended soon. Such a simple daily life is full of small happiness on the game screen. Mingfei KO'd his opponent with residual blood. Oh my god, who is this guy? Is he doing a power leveling? This is obviously much better than the guy just now. Mingfei said with some complaints. Jiangnan stood up and came to Mingfei's side. How dare you say that? You are a cultivator, bullying an ordinary person. Mingfei put down the controller and rejected the other party's challenge again. How can you say that you are bullying someone if you have done it with your own ability? By the way, group leader, when are we going to Akihabara to play? I can't wait any longer. The cute maid girl is waiting for me, and I want to buy the latest Pokemon from Nintendo. Jiangnan glanced at Jiudmei, who was wearing a maid outfit. This requires our little maid to arrange the itinerary for us. Jiudmei said lightly. It's raining today, so it's not suitable to go out. Mingfei turned his head and glanced out the window. How is it possible? How can it rain when the sun is so big? And the weather forecast is never accurate. Jiangnan nodded. That's right, the weather forecast is not as accurate as mine. Okay then. I'll arrange it for you now. Jiudmei sighed helplessly. These children are really willful. Yeah, the maid lady is the best. Mingfei jumped up happily. However, I have a little bad news here. Do you want to listen to it? Mingfei was slightly stunned and said subconsciously. What bad news? Jiangnan is wanted by the Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department. Jiudmei's tone was very flat, as if she was telling a very normal thing. Chapter 124, Emperor. It was reasonable that Jiangnan was wanted. After all, he was really arrogant. Yes, the scope of the Japanese underworld also includes Japanese politics. As long as a little conflict is created, a person can be put on the wanted list. Jiudmei said lightly. Of course, this is not the worst news. The worst news is that in the wanted list of the mixed blood world, your identity is the Dragon King. Jiangnan smiled. Does their wanted Dragon King Jiangnan have anything to do with me, the immortal Jiangnan? Jiudmei. Don't worry. Anyway, there is a spell that interferes with cognition, and no one can recognize us. Jiangnan waved his hand to indicate that it was nothing. Jiudmei nodded and began to arrange the itinerary and prepare the vehicle. At this time, Potato Chip Girl had already arrived in Japan. She lived in the Blackstone Mansion, a house that Lumings bought a long time ago. The computer in front of her showed the various requests made by Jiudmei. These ferocious little rabbits are going to Akihabara to play. Let's see what kind of vehicles they have arranged. Compared to Jiudmei, who was on the front line, she, as a logistics nanny, was undoubtedly very safe. Luxury hotel. Jiangnan looked at the three-headed Dragon King and asked, are you going to stay at home or go to Akihabara with us? Old Tang glanced at his two younger brothers. It's okay to take them with you. Jiangnan, of course it's okay. Old Tang smiled. I've taken a fancy to a super awesome game. Akihabara used to be an electronics street where you can find a lot of fun things. Of course I have to go this time. Jiangnan looked at Fenrir with a slightly floating look in his eyes. Fenrir looked a little reluctant because if he went out to play, he wouldn't be able to watch TV. Jiangnan touched his head. The brave armored warrior will not stay at home and watch TV all day. By the way, I'll give you a small gift. I hope you like it. Jiangnan took out the Earth Tiger Armor Transformer from behind. The moment he saw the Earth Tiger Armor Transformer, Fenrir's eyes lit up. Brother, are you the Earth Tiger Warrior? Fenrir's eyes were full of admiration. Sure enough, children can't resist the charm of the Armor Warrior. That's right. Jiangnan's tone became solemn, and then he continued. But today, the power to protect justice is handed over to you, Fenrir. You are the new summoner of the Light and Shadow Armor Earth Tiger Warrior. The battle with monsters is handed over to you. Don't let your brother down, okay? People who don't know him would think that this is a middle school student communicating about his illness. Fenrir nodded seriously. Can I really do it, brother? Of course, Fenrir will become the best Earth Tiger Warrior. Jiangnan rubbed Fenrir's cute little head. Fenrir picked up the Earth Tiger armor and tied it to his right hand. The action of the Earth Tiger warrior's transformation quickly appeared in his mind. It was exactly the same as in the special effects drama. Jiangnan looked at Fenrir and said seriously, "Don't forget that the Earth Tiger warrior must hide his identity. Remember, we are heroes and cannot use this power at will. We can only use this power when we are sure that the other party is an enemy." Fenrir nodded happily. Jiangnan stood up and just turned his head. He saw looming for his eyes full of resentment. It was like a wife who found that her husband had ignored her. "Boss." Jiangnan couldn't help but shuddered when he heard such a resentful voice, and goosebumps appeared on his body. "Speak properly," Looming Fei complained. "Boss, I wanted to. Even Fenrir has armor, and he is your most loyal lackey." Looming Fei admitted that he envied him. Although he is a cultivator, the armor warrior is really handsome. He also wants an armor. And this time he is going to Akihabara, which is a paradise for cosplay, with various comic exhibition characters or characters from special effects dramas. If he wears a set of armor, it must be very cool. "Boss, I know that the summoner of the armor hero is actually an energy converter, but you are so handsome, so invincible, so awesome, and so powerful, you must be able to make an armor summoner that converts spiritual power. Sometimes a loser can be very awesome when he is shameless." Or Looming Fei has long been accustomed to the life of a shameless loser. Jiangnan rubbed his forehead. "With the spiritual power you have in your foundation building, it is probably impossible to have the same armor summoner. I can only make you a low-end version." Jiangnan's hand flashed. A golden armor summoner appeared. It was a golden 5-element Teikai compass. The golden dragon coiled around Teikai, and the 5-element corresponded to the gold snow mastiff armor, woodwind eagle armor, water black rhino armor, fire flame dragon armor, and earth tiger armor. Oh my god, this can't be the emperor armor summoner. As expected, you love me the most, boss. I swear, I will be your most loyal lackey from now on. Looming Fei was so excited that he couldn't wait to transform. Jiangnan stretched out his hand to stop him. "Let me tell you in advance, since the power in your body is not as strong as the power in the Dragon King's body, this Emperor armor is actually just for show. Although all kinds of abilities have not been reduced and everything can be used, the power is definitely not as strong as the armor owned by the Dragon King. This is equivalent to the same character. One has full level equipment with all amplifications of 15, and the other is blue sky and white clouds. Although they use the same skills, the attack power is one world and the other is underground. Do you understand this?" Looming Fei nodded vigorously. Obviously, he couldn't wait any longer. Jiangnan handed the Emperor armor transformer in his hand to Looming Fei. In fact, there is one thing Jiangnan didn't say. Although it is a low profile version, the conversion power of the Emperor armor summoner is the same as the armor used by other Dragon Kings. That is to say, if Looming Fei made a deal with his brother and obtained that terrifying power, then this terrifying power would be converted by the Emperor armor summoner, and then the Emperor armor would have the power beyond other armors. Looming Fei looked at the roulette-like summoner and asked in confusion, "How does this transform?" "You idiot, this is a belt. Put it on your belly, and the Emperor armor summoner will automatically pop out the belt, and then you can transform." The scene of the Emperor armor transforming appeared in Looming Fei's mind. Looming Fei put the Emperor armor transformer on his belly. A golden belt popped out and wrapped around Looming Fei's belly. Emperor armor combine. Golden light and shadow appeared. Shoulders, knees, and armor slowly appeared on the body. The process was very handsome. Finally, the golden helmet appeared, and the transformation was completed. This is the unadvanced version of the Emperor armor, and there is no golden shield on the chest. It is the armor summoned by Zi Yang. Chapter 125, Game Paradise. The 8 Houses of Snake Key. Usuji Arai pouted and put down the game controller. The gray-white game page proved that she had been beaten badly. Her brother Yuan Zishan rubbed her little head. The opponent is very strong. Even in the professional field, he is very strong. Even I lost to him. Usuji Arai couldn't speak normally because of the word spirit, but the look in her eyes was very unhappy. If she could see the guy opposite, she would definitely judge him with a knife. At this time, Aing, a subordinate of Yuan Zisheng, walked in. This is a tall Japanese woman, wearing a tight leather jacket used by ninjas, and carrying countless sharp weapons. Young master, the head of the family wants to have a meeting with you. Got it. Yuan Zishan knew that the situation in Japan was very tense recently. Many mixed blood families came here, and the Dragon King was hiding here. If you are not careful, it will cause irreparable damage to the country. Although Japan is a country, its territory is not even as large as the provinces of some big countries. And because of its geographical location, this country often suffers natural disasters such as earthquakes and tsunamis. If the seabed is attacked, it is very likely that the country will sink to the bottom of the sea. Genshin is under a lot of pressure. This gangster boss who only wants to sell sunscreen on the French beach is really a bit overwhelmed. But what can he do if he can't bear it? He is the tallest one. Sakura left after delivering the message. Genshin touched Usugierai's little head, and her soft dark red hair swayed in the wind. Don't go out recently. It's very dangerous. Why? Usugierai picked up her writing book and wrote on it in beautiful handwriting. You don't understand yet. You will understand when you grow up. Genshin sighed. Although Usugierai is the head of the Usugi family of the Snake 8 families. But in fact, she is just a simple girl who knows nothing. Her mind is very immature. She can't even understand the relationship between men and women until now. She is as simple as a child. Genshin explained some things and left. Usugierai looked at the screen of her defeat, and the more she thought about it, the angrier she became. She secretly cursed that guy in her heart. Seeing the disappearance of Genshin, Usugierai picked up the game controller. But she didn't start the game. Genshin spent less and less time playing with her these days. Boredom is the biggest enemy of children. Usugierai put down the controller and decided to run away from home. Akihabara, once an electronics street. Now it is a place where otakus gather. There is a saying in the world of otakus. If you have never been to Akihabara, it is in vain to call yourself an otaku. This shows the yearning of otakus for this street. Standing on the street in Akihabara, looking at the busy streets, a cute maid girl stands at the door of the cafe, soliciting customers. Beautiful cosplayers taking pictures with customers. Hatsune Miku, Haruhi Suzumiya, the holy grail king of Saber. Hu. Mingfei suddenly sneezed. Jiangnan next to him said puzzledly. Stupid, can you get sick again? Mingfei rubbed his nose and said subconsciously. I guess some pretty girl is thinking about me? Come on. How can a pretty girl think about you, a poor guy? Mingfei was obviously hit. Jiangnan could only relax his shoulders. Old Tang was also very excited when he took his two younger brothers to look at the busy streets. He likes to play games. He wants to buy some of the latest games when he comes to this electronics street. But he has to bring his two younger brothers with him. Human thinking makes him love his two younger brothers very much. This is a blood bond of humans. It is also the brother control attribute of the dragon race. Everyone's eyes looked in different directions. Obviously everyone has their own place to yearn for. Fenri saw delicious food. Mingfei wanted to take a photo with cosplay. Old Tang wanted to buy games. Jiangnan wanted to go to the figurine store to have a look. Chiudmei didn't seem to have much interest in Akihabara, but was simply doing the work of a maid. Jiangnan clapped his hands after seeing this. Look here, look here. Everyone looked at Jiangnan. Everyone has their own things to do, so why not separate? We are not combined monsters, so we definitely have different interests and ideas. We are here to have fun today, so let's have fun. Since we are here to have fun, let's have fun. Jiangnan hates unhappy trips. Let's do this. Constantine and Fenrir are both children who need someone to take care of them. Old Tang, you are the biological brother of these two children, so these two children are handed over to you. The three of you can have fun, and have fun together. There is $500 million in this card, and all the expenses today will be paid by me, young Master Jiang. Jiangnan took out a black bank card. This black bank card stores the $500 million that Jiangnan asked for from the Gattuso family. You can swipe it, and eat it as you like. Jiangnan handed the bank card to Old Tang and patted him on the shoulder. If something happens, you should know how to deal with it. If you can't handle it, just call me, your boss, and I will help you deal with it. Old Tang was very excited when he looked at the black card in his hand. Boss, you are so kind to me. Those half-bloods would never have dreamed that the three-headed dragon king they had been looking for a long time would enter the holy land of Akihabara. What about me? What about me? Lu Mingfei said excitedly. You are a single dog. Go and have fun by yourself. Jiangnan also handed Lu Mingfei a black card, which was also connected to the $500 million. Oh, yeah. Lu Mingfei jumped away. Jiangnan looked at Jiudmei again. It's not easy for you either. I'll give you a day off today, so that you don't have to curse me as a black-hearted boss every day. Jiudmei thought she had heard it wrong, and the smile on her face was a little unnatural, and then she spoke doubtfully. What did you say? A day off today? Jiangnan nodded. Then he also handed over a black card. There are $500 million in it. Just buy whatever you want. Just consider it as this month's salary. Jiudmei subconsciously took the black card. My brain still didn't react a little. When did this black-hearted boss change his nature? But when Jiudmei came to her senses, Jiangnan had already left and ran to the figurine shop in front to admire the exquisite figurines. Jiudmei was not conspicuous in this holy land of Otakus in her maid outfit, but her stunning temperament stood out from the crowd. Looking at the black card in her hand, Jiudmei didn't know what to do for a moment. As a super beauty with a row of ex-boyfriends, she is very familiar with all kinds of famous brands and luxury goods. But now her identity is a nanny and a cute maid. Even if she buys some luxury goods, she doesn't know when she can use them. And she knows that after having fun, it will be the war with the Dragon King. Really, I don't know if this is a good thing. It's idiotic not to spend money if you have it. Jiudmei decided to find a way to spend more money first. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.